Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back at it again. Black Sensei Society, episode number 67. This one should be a very good one. We're going to have a lot of topics to talk about. The main topic being the top 10 power systems in anime. We're going to lock in and create the best list possible. But we also have a special guest to do the conversation with us. My guy here, Briggs. How you feeling, my boy?
I'm hyped. I'm hyped to be here. I love coming on podcasts. I love talking anime. That's pretty much what I do every day. I do reactions and I do podcasts about anime. So it's good to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Where can they find you? What's your channels?
I'm usually on Twitch. I'm actually on Twitch right now, Briggs ADA, and then it's the same on like YouTube, and then Rant Cafe Anime Podcast for like Spotify and other things.
Yes, sir. Shout out Rant Cafe. That is the very first anime podcast I've ever seen, and y'all were locked in with those anime debates. Yeah, I was like, this is kind of fun. I want to do that. So that kind of inspired the anime podcast.
Kind of funny. I watched an anime podcast. It made me start one. You watched one, made you start one. It's the way it goes.
Hey man, that's the trend. But of course, we have a lot of things to talk about. Gentlemen, my co-host Lonnie, Miles, Ty, Santo, how we feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
Life is blessed. Life is blessed.
And I'm chilling. Am I on the right microphone? I really hope so, guys. Do I sound like shit or do I sound good?
You sound good.
Okay, good. Thank God.
All right. Per usual, the normal stuff. Make sure you guys follow our link tree to go join our Discord. We have a lot of great conversations over there. Anime, wrestling, music, movies. We also separated Team Villain and Team Hero officially, that everybody can go react to the channel. That's going to be moving forward as we see who's the best, who really knows ball on stuff like Open Dojo or just plain old debates on the Discord. Also, when it comes down to it, shout out all our members. Shout out all our Bankai members. Make sure to get a list of y'all. I won't be able to name all of your names because there's quite a bit of you, but supporting the channel, we do really appreciate you guys. And if you guys are on the podcast listening, rate that podcast 5 stars so we can be the best podcast out there. I like Rant Cafe, but we're trying to be better than you, Briggs. I'm sorry. We're out locked in.
I believe in you, buddy. Pass us on the charts.
All right. With that said, Random. What was it, my guy?
Random's mic sounds horrible. Is that Random's mic?
No, Random frozen.
Random's cooked.
Internet. Nah, he's really cooked. He's like moving at 150%.
He is broiled right now.
He is done. Also, one last thing before we get into the top 10, put a super chat goal for the YouTube stream. If we hit 5 super chats, drop the StreamYard link so someone can get whatever you got to get off. That fun stuff again. So with that said, we're going to dive right into the power system. I think the way we're going to do it is I already asked for suggestions from the community. And when it comes down to it, we won't kind of go over, I'm going to fix this. We won't go over, doing all our own like suggestions like we used to be doing. We'll just have this blanketed suggestions and we can go off of that. But before we go off of that and then create the top 10, if anything that's not on here, that should be on here, we'll kind of go one by one and add some more suggestions so we can kind of fill it out properly.
I don't see Pokemon. This list already sucks. I'm kidding.
I blame the Discord. They ain't locked in apparently. So we'll actually go one by one and then add a power system that's not on the list already, so we can kind of create the best selection. So we can create the top 10, and we'll have Briggs start off. Is that your first one?
100%. From the video games to the anime, the Pokemon system is so nice.
Okay. I respect it. I wasn't even thinking about Pokemon, but that's actually
yeah. Sometimes we don't think about that when we think about anime, but I think the system is really balanced. That's why people love playing some of those online games.
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad at it. I might actually. Since I didn't consider Pokemon, I might have to edit my top 10. I'll be honest.
And the level of strategy that comes into play. Like, I know Ash isn't really using it, but there's a lot of strategy that could help you, right?
Oh God. Ash is one of the most annoying MCs when it comes to strategy, bro.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. I'll go next. I think the system that's not on here that I want to add is the Attack on Titan power system thing.
Facts. I thought that process was tough.
Yeah.
I guess
I
top
mean,
10 though.
we're just putting the
It
suggestions.
could be.
We'll get into it. But the stuff with the Titan wielders, the way it works, the rules, and how the all the abilities kind of interacted with each other, especially with how Eren started like collecting the Affinity Stones at the end of the series. Nah, that
Also, like the mystery behind the power system was crazy.
no, for sure.
Like it's
For
different.
sure. All right, Lonnie, you got a suggestion?
Quirks. Do we have the power system from Magi?
Yeah.
Rook right here.
Yeah, Rook.
And what about from what's it called? Hitman Reborn.
You motherfucker.
Nah.
Mine too.
What about the do you have the one from Chainsaw Man? Chainsaw Man power system tough.
I don't think so. No, it doesn't look like it.
I just gonna call it Devils.
Yeah,
Yes.
double system.
It's like devil contracts.
Miles, what you got?
Since my chain got snatched, I'll just say Cyberware from Cyberpunk.
Mm.
Mm.
All right, random. What's in your bag?
Ignition from Fire Force.
You're
Sorry,
low.
that's there.
Right here.
Or is it just me? I can't hear random.
Yeah, you're a bit quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah.
I said Ignition from Fire Force.
It's already on the list. You got another one?
No, all the ones I wanted, other than Miles. How do they explain the system from SAO again?
It's like a video
Miles,
game
can
where
you hear me?
there's yeah, I think you're lagging, but
Yeah, a little bit.
how I remember it it follows the guidelines of just like your regular MMORPG video game where you earn skills as you level up. But I don't think outside of that, I don't think it gets that deep outside of that. It's just Kirito can kind of do whatever.
Yeah. If you don't have one, you can
Okay,
pass.
fine then. I didn't want to. No, I didn't want to do this. I was gonna say the power system from Mushoku Tensei. It's magic, but the way they do it is very well done in terms of going from saint to emperor to god class. They do very well. They do a very good job of their power system.
All right, big bet. Ty gave the devil one. You have another one you want to throw out real quick?
What? Maybe you could throw in Enchanted Blaze from Kagurabachi.
All right. Santo?
I mean, all the ones that I was gonna say, it's already up here, but honorable mention to me, I'll say the Future Diaries from Future Diary itself for those that are locked into the underground anime. It's literally powers that are given by God through cell phones.
Oh, y'all could do. What about Dondodons? Like Yokai and Aliens? That's not tough, bro. Dondodon's power system's fire.
Diaries. And then I don't even know how to name. I'm just gonna say Don system. They just be doing whatever. To be honest,
I mean, low key, it actually is called that.
The Dawn system. Shout out Don. Briggs is on you. Got anything you want to add to the list?
Honestly, I think the list is looking pretty good. Like my top, I was trying to think of a top 10 in my head, and I keep on seeing them on here, so it's looking good.
Okay, big bet. The only ones I'm gonna add, I'm gonna double fire. I'm gonna add Death Note. Because I feel like you can argue that's a system, considering like it works in a very particular way to do certain things that is important for the series. So Death Note, And then I'm gonna throw in the Gios system.
Would you put Kuroko no Basket the zone?
Nah.
I'm just I
mean,
gotta give it to some of the sports guys. I gotta put
But
it
you
out.
know what?
Name that.
Their abilities in general, maybe not the zone, but their abilities in general, if they named it, because they play so drastically different from player to player.
If
I
it
think
was
it's
more
cool.
accessible to like all the athletes, then I probably would be like not gonna lie, Blue Lock's ecosystem probably would be a better fit because pretty much all the characters in Blue Lock themselves can access it in one way or the other. Shout out to $2 super chat from Jaden. He said, "Team Hero, One Piece Media Cartel, stand up." Shout out, y'all. Big
Stand tall,
W.
stand proud. Come on.
Big W. Shout out. All right, Lonnie, you have any other ones that we should add?
I would say the magic system from ReZero with all because it's also super complicated, has a bunch of different things, and also I am convinced that the One Piece fandom are like the Jehovah's Witnesses of the anime community, and so like
We don't want to be attacked, please. Not right
I'm
now.
just saying so the One Piece media cartel, they're just like those angry, aggressive Jehovah's Witnesses that like Loki like try to jump you like at 1:00 in the afternoon.
To the people in the chat, look at his energy and look at mine. Who's the aggressor?
We're not even 15 minutes in, and he's
I'm a One Piece sympathizer. I'm not part of the cartel though. I was like,
Sure.
easy.
Okay. Miles, do you have anything else?
The only one I'd add is abilities from Charlotte. That was pretty well thought out. It's just called abilities.
Okay. Abilities from what?
Charlotte. So they had the one guy that was really fast, but he couldn't stop unless he hit something. The main character could take control of people's bodies for a limited amount of time and then steal their ability. People could run back time but lose their eyesight. There was just a crazy drawback that came with your powers.
Okay. Random Ty and Santo, do you have anything else that should be on the list that's not on the list?
Do you have stands from JoJo?
It's there.
Yeah, it's on the
Okay,
list.
I guess
The one thing that is alchemy there. I didn't see alchemy.
Yeah, it's right
Yeah,
there.
it is.
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
it's
right
fifth. Okay. All right, I'm good.
I think that's
I think we're
that's good enough.
Someone keeps saying Yu-Gi-Oh. Should we add Yu-Gi-Oh?
No.
Damn.
The
You
power
hating on Yu-Gi-Oh? Question mark?
I'm not hating on it, but like as a power system.
Well, it's a
No.
power system. What the hell?
I mean, it is a power system. They don't even follow their own rules, but
Yeah.
I mean, the card game's amazing. I love the anime, but like, is the power system in the anime good? I mean, you can put it up there.
No, that's a good point. We definitely should adhere to like what the anime is doing, but also, wait, do they even follow the rules in the manga?
Sometimes.
The only one that really followed the rules, I would say, would be Brains. But other than that, it's a lot of heart of the card stuff.
Okay. Well, for now they'll be on the selection list. But all right, with that said, time to get right into it. How we are going to do everything is we're gonna go one by one, and then you're gonna basically select what that placement is. So we'll start off for number one, what you think number one is. You'll say what yours is, and then we'll discuss as a group whether or not we agree or disagree, whether someone has a counter and all that. It's a little bit more open, but we'll allow someone to kind of set the tone. So since we have a special guest, of course, Briggs, you are deciding
Oh shit!
the best power system right off rip.
No
Best
pressure.
power system right off rip. I know my chat is screaming Nen, but I feel like Nen is too big brain for me. I gotta watch a too spooky video every time I watch Hunter x Hunter to even know what the hell's going on sometimes. I do like the fact that like there's repercussions, and depending on the repercussion, it applies to like how strong it is. I think it's really cool. So let's put Nen up there, but we'll see if it gets bounced around.
Okay. Does anybody disagree with the Nen power system being the best one?
My only pushback is alchemy.
I got alchemy at 1.
Alchemy.
Okay, look, what's the counter argument?
I think thematically alchemy is fantastic. Equivalent exchange, that is such a fire theme to match the power system. That's one. Two, I think it has such hard rules, but it's really simple. No one is confused about the laws of alchemy in Full Metal. I don't think Hunter's overly confusing, but it is complicated, and I think that Full Metal Alchemist also has those hard rules, but it's so simple at the same time. Yeah, and I think that it's so consistent. It's easy to understand. It's extremely consistent. Thematically is really good. I think that's why I would have it number one.
Yeah, I don't completely disagree. I think alchemy is amazing. I think it almost like helps with the world building as well, having it in place there.
Yeah, I think that's a fair argument too. Like, one thing that I care about, of course, is like complexity to an extent. But if it's overly complicated and like people are not really able to digest it, or they have to reread it, or put a fine-tooth comb to make sure they understand every little detail, that can be off-putting for some people. Whereas alchemy, you're watching Full Metal, you get what's going on. You get that Ed can clap his hand, make things appear. You get that Kimberly can make things explode. You get that Mustang got a snap and he just be tearing people apart. And you're locked in. That thing is super interesting, super entertaining. And they don't really, one thing that I always appreciate, they don't really deviate from the rules much. And if they try to, there's like a big sacrifice if they try to deviate from the rules.
Mm-hmm.
That was my... Go ahead.
Oh my God, go ahead, Miles.
I was going to say that's my biggest separator between the two, and why I also have the Full Metal Alchemist Alchemy at number one. I feel like your limitations should be greater than your power. From what I understand, the only way you can like bypass your natural means in Full Metal is with a Philosopher's Stone, and the cost of getting that is thousands of souls, right? Whereas with Nen, it's simply you can make a different style of contract while your Nen is already currently existing. It just seems way easier to bypass those limitations. And that was the big separator for me. So I'm gonna go alchemy as well.
The only thing I'll say is I think also I just love mystery stories. I think that a lot of the twists and reveals behind Full Alchemy is also crazy, right? Like I think one of my favorite ones is when Father turned off everybody's alchemy.
With the
but
that was crazy.
That's crazy. But Scar and Maze were unaffected because they use alchemy history, and they get their source from. So it's like the mystery behind the power system is crazy. The consistency is crazy. It's simple, but at the same time complex. It's consistent. It's because of hard consequences. It makes the battles more interesting to me. I think they're interesting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Ed can't make himself adult gone. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I think I was fired for gone. But if your alchemy just ain't what it is, you're just gonna get clapped. There's just nothing you can do about it. So you have to be really smart. Like,
yeah.
Have you read the Laws of Magic? Out of curiosity.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, there's a lot of good points you guys are making, especially when you consider everything that you guys mentioned, and then how the crux of the power system, the answer to the final question, was giving up alchemy. From Edward.
Thematically, it's fire.
Hey,
yeah, it is really good. It really, I'm fine with putting alchemy above Nen, but we do need to give some props to Nen. Where like, there's a reason why everyone loves it, because it's so balanced and logical, and it still has like, it makes the battles very strategic and different than a lot of other anime. I know when I'm watching it, I'm like, this is amazing, and then like a year later, I'm like, how does Nen work?
No, that's that's real right there. Santo, I think you're the only one who hasn't spoke. Random too. What do y'all think?
I would say this might be recency bias, but I mean, I saw Devil Fruits and Hockey up there, and I would put that at one. I mean, I know the One Piece cartel is gonna, say I'm glazing, but I really enjoy the variety that I'm being exposed to, like the different types of Devil Fruits. Yes, they do come at a drawback that you can't swim, but that's such a big drawback for being a pirate. And also now where I'm at, seeing the different ways to use hockey and the introduction of hockey right now, that it can be used in weapons, it can be used in your physical body, like different types of hockey. Like you can now sense things, you can change the environment, and the fact that everybody can use it to where just how you use things strategically, it just changes the battle in any fight. So that would be my choice.
Shout
Someone
out
just said that's proper glaze. I love it. That's so fucking funny. But you know what? I think One Piece deserves to be close to up there. Like they're blending two different power systems together and they interact well, right? You have Devil Fruits that were so overpowered in the first half. You got Logias that you're seeing, and then it's like, oh, but if you master hockey, something that just like anyone can do, you can overpower these people with like godlike powers. It's beautiful.
For real. All right, so it seems like the general consensus is alchemy number 1, and do we agree that Nen is number 2?
Yeah, I got that too.
I'm not mad at
Okay.
it.
All right, let me update the list. So now the question is, since we kind of made that decision right there, random, since you didn't speak last time, what do you think should be number 3?
If I'm being honest, no, I can't do that. I really like how Ignition works from Fire Force. I think the fact that you can clearly see the different generations and how it's different, how even though you're a lesser generation, you don't have the same amount of firepower, if you want to say that, but you want to mess with and you need like an item to like make it work. Like for instance, the captain from Squad 8 and his ability that he uses guns to be able to catch the ignition, but he's still nasty with his guns. I really like that. Obviously, there's other people, Benny Morrow and how he uses his powers. I think it's sorely underrated. I know it may be a little bit too high for some people, but I really like Ignition. I think it should be pretty high on the list, in my opinion.
Shout out Ignition, shout out Fire Force. Does anybody agree with Ignition number 3, or do they have a counter?
Can I look at that list again? I don't have it at 3. I like it, but I don't have it at 3. But I gotta see what's on this list again.
I don't know if it makes my top 10, but it's a good power system.
Yeah.
I was gonna put Stan / Hamon from JoJo's at number 3 because I think the versatility of it, how some have different conditions where it's almost like a game. There's different conditions you have to like even defeat them or interact with them. Some have time manipulation, matter manipulation, space, the types of stands and types of conditions that they have are endless. And the versatility and the character designs from the stands on top of that. Hamon, how it's like an energy system with its own like kind of chakra balance in nature and things like that. And how it's kind of like the hockey to its own devil fruit. Yeah, I think that JoJo's just versatility and OP-ness at times kind of carries it to number 3.
I have AOT at 3 because I do think there is. Again, I think it's important just because people talk about how they don't really necessarily like the exposition of Nin's power system, but I do. So I think that the way that you reveal a power system is also important as the power system itself. And AOTs, how they seamlessly revealed that power system was crazy. One of my favorite moments is when Eren punches the Smiling Titan in the hand, and then he start controlling all of them. Like, and then we find out it's because the Founding Titan can't control other Titans if you're royal, but we're like, Eren's not a royal, but it's because he touched a royal. That shit was crazy. I was like, man, that was such a good way to drop that reveal to me. So I think not only that, all the different Titans, also I personally include ODM gear as part of the system because how they combat Titans if you don't have abilities. The Ackerman's abilities in there too. So I think AOT's power system is fire, like genuinely fire. Because the battles, I don't think that you get AOT battles in most manga. The type of battles they have are extremely unique because of their power system. Because you have giant people, you have smaller characters with ODM gear having to fight giant Titans. This is a unique way of fighting too. So AOTs from the writing, the way the characters fight, the reveals, how seamless the reveals are, and the unique style of fight I have it extremely high.
I'm not mad at it. I like AOT, of course. I'm AOT guy. It's the only manga that I have the full collection of. AOT is my favorite series. There's very few series that have the power system so embedded into the story like AOT does. Ultimately, though, I'm gonna go with one that's a little bit more inclusive to more characters and more contributing factor to like more complex type fights and more interesting fights. I don't really watch Attack on Titan for the fights. I'm not saying they're bad. Levi versus the Beast Titan, amazing. The final battle with Eren, amazing. But if I compare it to something like, and this is my answer, One Piece, I just enjoy what they're doing with their power system more. With the devil fruits, all the unique type of devil fruits, with hockey, of course, introducing that and having a counter. When they first introduced it, it was like, how are they going to deal with Logia fruit users? That was the question. How are they going to deal with them? Then they introduced hockey and armament hockey that allows you to punch people like Kizaru right in the face. So not only does hockey have a lot of layers that indicate someone's power, but so does Devil Fruit, introducing Awakening, and then obviously introducing Mythical Zones, taking it to even another level. So with what One Piece is doing with their power system, I'm so invested to see what is someone going to do next. What Devil Fruit are they going to do next? How are they going to use their hockey? And so I'm going to go with One Piece as mine. So right now we got Attack on Titan, Stands, One Piece, Ignition as some mentions. Briggs, what would you think?
I honestly like, so other than Ignitions, I dropped Fire Force, so I can't really speak on it. But other than that, I do think all of those would probably be in my top 10. It just kind of moving them around. I like Stands a lot. It just bothers me a little bit that like they ran with Hamon for a bit, dropped it, swapped the Stands, which are dope, and then like I don't know. I sometimes feel like Stands are so strategic. It's like moving like chess pieces, but then like the actual user itself is just kind of there talking shit. The few battles where like the stand user and the thing are both like kind of in it, I find are some of the best fights. I just sometimes wish they were both the user and the stand itself was more involved. And that they also used Hamon. Like, how sick would it be if you have like Joseph with a stand with Hamon going hard?
That would be yours.
Or Jotaro in the future arcs.
Sure.
Nah, that would have been sick. So what do you think should be number 3? Is this Stands?
I think I have One Piece above Stands, boys.
No,
They're close. They're both close, but I do have One Piece above Stands. But I'm a One Piece. Like, One Piece is my favorite manga of all time. I'm biased as fuck.
I wasn't gonna vote for it, but since y'all all decided to do it for me, I'll vote One Piece.
Let's go.
So One Piece makes it.
I'm about to say I got one. I'll put AOT prices over Stands too, but
I would too.
You guys kind of convinced me with AOT. Like I wasn't thinking about the power system, but like how beautifully it's animated with them with their with the gear going around these titans, and it's just so unique compared to everything else. Like everyone's got powers. How many shows got giants and they're like flying around, slicing their necks? It looks so cool.
Nah, 100%. To start this one out, Santo, what do you think should be number 4?
Let's go AOT since we're right there. I mean, like we said, the different types of Titans, ODM gear, and then Kenny walks in and he starts shooting. I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm gonna go AOT.
All right, AOT it is. Lonnie, what should be number 5?
Number 5.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess JoJo's is the number 4. Oh, can I see the list?
No, Attack on Titan 1. Santo said Attack on Titan.
Oh,
Ty said Attack on Titan. Miles said Attack on Titan.
oh then JoJo's.
Okay. Does everybody agree?
I was gonna provide pushback.
Yeah, I don't agree, but I wasn't gonna say something.
Squabble up.
What's the pushback?
It was a last minute addition, but I'm gonna fight heavily for the Dying Will Flame from Reborn.
Love to hear Reborn Glaze. I'm here for it.
It
For
needs
5?
a remake so bad.
Yeah. So I think at the beginning it starts off as this goofy thing that's kind of like a gag, right? With the main character acting wild and crazy and running around. And then around episode 2023, you get to see a drastic shift in emotion, and you get to kind of see this anime is really going to go somewhere and it means something. I think it's balanced really well by having the 6 different types of flames that are all given to you at birth according to your emotions. So it's not really something that you can modify it. It's really meant to be true to who you are. And then within each of those categories, they each control and they govern a certain aspect of like reality. So let's say you have storm flames. you can only like blow things up or be very destructive. No matter how you decide to make your ability, you're going to be destructive. So one person throws knives, they have explosive power. The other one uses dynamite, it amplifies that explosive power. If you're using waves, you naturally slow things down. No matter how you incorporate that, you can be a swordsman, and your sword play will just naturally slow people down. So I think it's a very, very layered power system. And then they add on items as well that coordinate with your flames. So the main character gets a ring, and that's kind of their version of how they do inherited will. Instead of it being someone's spirit living on through you, the ring is passed down, and he's able to channel his ancestors through the ring. There's another ring for a different family where he exists linearly through different parallel universes. So instead of him going back in time to an ancestor, he talks to himself, and it's only possible throughout the usage of that ring. I just think it's really dynamic. It has a lot of limitations because it's based around your emotions, and it drives the entirety of the Reborn story forward. There's not a single aspect of the story that isn't moved around by Reborn or Reborn's power system.
Lonnie, well, let's say I want to allow Lonnie to.
I wanted to hear Ty's because I don't know if Ty was also going to say.
I just got a question. Why stands over Chakra?
Chakra had a number. Chakra had right after.
I was like, well, why though? That's obvious. People don't be talking about Chakra like it's not tough.
No, I got
you got
six. With me, stands just in terms of because with Chakra, like I still similar how to the Reborn one, where it's like the set natures and things like that. There's still like a basis of what you're gonna be dealing with. But with stands, like you really never know, like because even like the smallest stands with like the weakest powers can overcome some other stands that have godly like abilities. Like we see like the one, for instance, in Stone Ocean, the girl with the kissing stand that can just like fuse things together. We see her outdo things that can like take animals and like recreate them into invisible monsters and things like that. We have people that can manipulate air pressure and gravity and then time itself. And then like, I just feel like the complexity of the fights and the complexity of the stance and like the differences of the stance and how you have to use your stand. Because your stand only has like that set ability, but like just the versatility in which people use these stands, I feel like it's more entertaining than some of the fights in Naruto. Chakra feels more like he from Dragon Ball now. Like now, yeah, but
I touch on that real quick, Lonnie.
Yeah,
and that's my only problem with Chakra. I feel like in part one, it established like a lot of its hard rules, water beats fire, things like that. But when we get around to Shippuden, it just feels like
who's stronger?
Rasengan, bigger Rasengan, great sand wave, bigger great sand wave, extremely large sand wave. It kind of devolves and it doesn't feel as creative as it did in the first half of the story. I feel like that take is thoroughly hated, and I can see Ty's face shifting. But that's how it starts to. It genuinely does feel like that to me.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what you think, though, Ty.
One, compared to Dragon Ball, I think they're both tough. I don't know why because we can really get into Key, but we'll do that. We'll say that for another time. I'm about to put that. It's gonna be on my top 10. But I think that yes, you're dealing with stronger characters, but to me, there still needs to be I don't think the strategy ever leaves. I don't think that the complexity ever leaves the Chakra power. I guess I would ask at what point in the story do y'all feel like that's the case? That's why I'm like
So Ty, I can provide you with 2 examples in Shippuden where I think the strategy is really well executed, and then I can provide you 2 that aren't. Is that fair?
Yeah, you're right.
So I think Killer, that fight with everybody said the Killer Bee and Sasuke fight. But it was the small things, like them both chaining their lightning to the blade and grounding it to kind of cancel each other's attacks out. I think stuff like that is very it resembles a lot of the stuff in part 1. Or Kakashi and Obito's fight. The use of the shirt and the kunai, the mud wall, using the smoke. There seemed like there was an intention to have a lot of effort and detail put in the fight. And then I think Kisame versus Killer Bee. They're just charging at each other, getting more and more chakra. His chakra is at the level of a tailed beast. And it's like, yeah, cool. I understand what that means. But at the end of the day, it just feels like two foes, unmovable object, unstoppable force, just doing this. It just feels like ooga booga. There's nothing going on.
Like at one point, elements don't matter.
Yeah, like it's not even the elements aspect. There's just no strategy at all. They're just charging at each other. Up until the one part I could probably say the strategy in that fight is when his sword betrays him. But between the two combatants, there wasn't a whole lot of strategy involved.
So I do think, and then I guess for me, that I see this as really, I think you see this in every power system. There are some times where somebody's just stronger than you. There's just nothing you can do about it. There's no strategy. It's just this person is just simply stronger than you are.
Sure.
Right? Like, I think you see this in Hunter. You see it, like, for example, Sukuna versus Jogo. People love Jujutsu Kaisen's power, so I do too. Sukuna was just stronger than him. That there was nothing he could do. Like, that exists in every series, and you know what I'm saying. So I don't hold it against a series where that's just the case. Well, at least I don't. Let's say hold it against.
It depends on the expectation of the fight, though. Like Sukuna versus Jogo, the expectation is an overwhelming defeat. When it comes to like supposed comparable characters, you wouldn't expect it to be like that is. Like Sasuke and Deidara would be a comparable fight to the point where you both need to use strategy to win this fight. Whereas Sukuna Jogo, no, Sukuna just do what you got to do, beat him up.
I mean, but I think that's so. I think that has always existed. Well, I guess. Do y'all think that Rock Lee versus Gaara fits that bill?
Of strategy?
Of just he was just powerful like that. I feel like that's a perfect example. They weren't really strategizing and shit.
Yeah, but like Rock Lee was only using Taijutsu.
Okay, I said Gaara was with the primary Lotus and then the Hidden Lotus when he to soften the impact. But as far as everything else, he was just trying to beat Lee's ass. You feel me? Like yes, you had the primary Lotus. He turned he substituted out, and then the Hidden Lotus he turned his gore to sand to cushion the blow.
Sure.
Yeah, I think like everything else it was just. I'm just stronger than you, Lee. And then Lee was like, I got to get stronger to surpass him. I mean, people love that.
The only reason I fight against that is because Lee didn't have all the tools. That's the only reason I look at that differently. Lee, like in terms of he couldn't use like jutsu. He could only throw hands. So sure he had technique while he was throwing hands, but there's nothing he could do. It's not like all of a sudden he could create a shadow clone and now he's giving Gaara even more work. That's why I look at it that way. Lee was just huge, like I said. He's walking in there with a tire on his car, and you were expecting him to win the race. He did his damnedest with a tire, but everybody else had brakes, windshield wipers, like all that stuff, and he did all he could. That's why I look at that. Lee's just the exception to me, unless you want to give him a bottle of Henny and you like that version of him. Like that's why I look at that different.
I can even give a different example. I'm just trying to focus on like there are just certain points in fights where that's just strength is overwhelming and people love it. So when Naruto starts Naruto versus Haku, I don't know who don't love that moment. He was just stronger, he was just faster than Haku, but it was fire, and that's okay. Like that's more of what I'm saying. Like you have moments like that or fights like that where that's just the case, and those are a lot of times beloved fights. You know what I'm saying? Like
I felt you.
Yeah, but that means it's good. That means it's good anime. It doesn't mean it's a good power system. For those fights, that's good. Well, that's just good quality anime. When one guy you have a powerful moment where he's he's overpowering his opponent. That's just good anime. It doesn't mean like that's gonna give a plus to the power system in any way.
Why not though? Because they're using the power. Like why not?
Like I don't know. I feel like when Naruto relies on the Nine-Tails Fox sometimes in some earlier fights, while it was really cool, it didn't make me think like, wow, that's a good power system. Like that was some intricate strategy involved there.
So it's a good power system. So what is a good power system then? Because to me that was a good use of the power system.
Because it's like I guess it just for me it depends. It depends on you want to see two different powers going at it, two different strategies in play with different like conditions. If that makes sense, I'm trying to think of the terminology for like an early fight with Naruto where he's just getting knocked out and then Nine-Tails inside of him. Like other people don't have that. And it doesn't seem like he's not even choosing to do it. It just happened. It's just like, he's getting knocked out. Oh shit, now I'm powerful. Like that doesn't seem smart to me.
But
it's cool. But
before you go, let me read off these two super chats, and then Santo, you can pick it up. Kent with the $2 super chat, he said, "Great pod and Yu Yu Hakusho top 5."
He's gonna always represent.
Continuing pushing the agenda.
Our Yu Yu Hakusho representative right there.
Number one Yu Yu Hakusho fan. And then he sent a $5 super chat, said Rock Lee top 5 wasted potential, and then Kuwabara top 10. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Shout out Kuwabara. Santo, what were you about to say?
I think what I guess what we're trying to say, or at least what I'm understanding, like one fight in particular that I thought of was Itachi versus Sasuke. That I think that was a great representation of power systems, of different chakra elements, techniques, and different styles like genjutsus, in that nature. Yes, tools as well. With with Gara and Lee, it was just that power. Okay, I can't overpower you, so I'm gonna try to outspeed you type thing, and that really didn't showcase a lot of the power system.
You talking
Of
about
Naruto.
which fight?
Which one? The first one I said, or the
Talking
second?
about Lee versus Gara for the second
Lee
one.
That-
versus
that's-
Gara, I don't think showcased a lot of, or didn't really give to me, a nod to the power system.
It did. Though. It showed us. It showed us what a taijutsu specialist can max out to be. Like we have ninjutsu, genjutsu, and then explain everything a taijutsu master can do. That I think that perfectly tells about the power system. Like you know, what I'm
I think the
saying?
taijutsu one's an exception, and I
I'm
do
not
like
mad at
it.
it.
I do like it. It's
Like,
like
that- like,
in
that-
I'm not mad at that.
the entire
Yes.
series, they showed us all these other powers, and everyone relying on all these other things, and then you see this one fight. I think it's cool. I do like that one.
Yeah.
The valid. All right, let's keep it moving. So let's get some votes out the way.
That's
So-
so
We'll start off with Briggs. Who are you voting for number 5?
Is it basically between Naruto and Stans right now?
No,
Yeah,
no,
we
you can
never-
pick whatever because One Piece. No, not One Piece. Stans was mentioned. Hitman Reborn, Dying Will was mentioned,
Mhm.
and Naruto was mentioned. Loki, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I do think Bleach needs some love too.
Oh
But,
my
um,
god,
that's-
I love Bleach.
I
I love the
before,
Bleach power system.
I don't want to go on a tangent. So you could choose whichever. Basically, I'm gonna read the super chat though. The tier 1 power systems don't depend on strength alone. Their strategy and creativity. It's a reason why Nen and Alchemy are universally loved. I agree to that. Creative Bobby.
And Bobby's a stan. So
W.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm gonna go with JoJo's for number 5. I even though I do have my issues at times, I do feel like every single fight from like part 3 onward is just so intricate because of the different abilities. Like every single fight has so much strategy, trying to figure out, even at the beginning, what is their stand? What does it do? It's always like a freaking puzzle in the beginning. It's so cool. I love it.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna vote. If I'm trying to be objective, I'm voting Stans as well. I mean, you guys already said all of it. Now, with that said, Miles, Dying Will Flame, fire though. Like I do think it's very underappreciated, but what Stans provides in the story, I'm gonna have to go with that without going too long on explanation. Lonnie.
I'm going Stans.
All right, 3 Stans. Miles, you sticking with Dying Will Flame?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ty has his own opinion. Briggs has his own opinion. Yeah, I'm sticking with what I said.
Okay. Random.
You nasty, bro.
I mean, I'm outvoted anyway, so yeah.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
I mean, you're not outvoted. There's only 3 Stans, 1 Dying Will Flame.
So me, random, and Santo have to agree to.
Or you guys could all pick Dying Will Flame, and then
Oh,
hey,
sure.
it wins. You guys all could also pick Chakra, and it ties it up.
Bro, why? Because why? Bro, Stans is not better than Chakra. It's not better. All right, man.
Random, what do you pick?
Ty, I'm with you, Ty.
You know what?
I'm with you because the same problem in Naruto exists in JoJo's. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't disagree.
I'll pick Chakra,
Lottie's ass.
but I also have I mentioned it before. I'm really mad at how dumbed down it feels the Chakra is in this.
Okay.
While it is
I feel
cool,
like all these things exist in, like, for example, the thing that we talking about Naruto exists in One Piece too. If you're the strongest somebody, you can't fuck with them.
Ty, I'm
That's
not
not
saying
I don't have a problem with it.
That's
Personally, I
not
don't,
completely true though.
I don't have a problem with it, but it exists. It exists in Bleach. It exists in One Piece. It exists in all the. It exists in like. Why is it with Naruto? It's like.
Ty,
Because Ty-
That's not true.
Nobody can fuck with you in
Huh?
Bleach. It's a
Ty,
foul.
You're saying that's not true?
Ty, what is
I
your
don't
vote?
think so.
Oh, hold on.
Because I feel
What
like
is your
Luffy beat
vote,
plenty of people who are stronger than him.
So what I'm saying is,
Zoro beat people who are stronger than him.
So no, I agree. It's the same thing with these other series. But the point I'm making is that if we're saying that it eventually becomes this, I'm like, There's plenty. If in One Piece top tiers, there's nothing you can do with them. Like if you no, I don't care what strategy you got. If you're not stronger than Kaido, you're not beating Kaido. I don't care about your strategy. You are not beating a Kainu and Garp with strategy. If you ain't stronger than them, you're not beating them. Like, sorry, you're just not gonna beat them.
You're right, but I do feel like no matter what, even against these unmovable forces, like the strategy of the system is still at play. Like you need to use hockey to even have a chance. You need to be a master of whatever devil fruit you're doing and awaken it to even have a chance. Like Kaido turned into a fucking dragon. Luffy, I don't even want to spoil for I don't know if everyone's there.
This is the One Piece podcast. You can go.
Oh, okay, good. I was gonna say, like, even if it's like most people would have to just get dummied by Kaido and you wouldn't even see the system. In most of these fights, you're seeing Big Mom use her armament hockey and not be fucking touched. You know, like it's always at play. And I feel like I don't know. I guess it is always at play at Naruto too. I feel like everyone just hates the ending of Shippuden or certain parts of Shippuden, and we just keep on pushing it down. But you know, the same shit does happen in One Piece at times for sure.
And again, I think that's necessary. Sometimes
it has to scale. Yeah,
I think it's necessary sometimes where some characters are just so powerful because it says one thing it does is raise the stakes. If Kaido could just simply be beat with like strategy, I think it's more. I think having to surpass him is a harder. I think it raises stakes higher because strategy is not good enough for Kaido. You gotta box this nigga.
There was strategy used to be.
I'm not saying like obviously like in all these fights. I can say in the Naruto Sasuke fight, there's still strategy at play, even if people want to dumb it down to one just strong the other. Every fight in Naruto has some form of strategy, like every single one.
I disagree.
Which ones have So that would mean that these characters are just smashing and they're just not thinking like, come on, like
so Ty, okay, there has to be some strategy that exists, right? I'm not gonna say none, but even between characters of relevant strength, it feels like they're going. It's not even about somebody being stronger than the other or me being completely outmatched. We're just bumping heads for the sake of bumping heads.
Yeah, and like when it came to Kaido, like we understood that they had to consistently weaken him. In the Naruto Sasuke fight, it's just I just got to beat you. Like there wasn't a grand plan beyond overpowering either Sasuke or overpowering Naruto in that fight. Kaido had to be constantly weakened.
Luffy literally needed to learn how to use a different type of hockey. Wasn't it like he had to expand his level of hockey to even do damage in the first place?
Yeah, but isn't that just him getting stronger?
But it was a different. You know the hockey he used to take off like that.
Again, I have no issue. This is not a complaint. I love that fight.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to get into like that is just him getting stronger. When he's getting better as Conqueror's Hide, he's just getting stronger. Like, and I could dumb it down to that, but I don't. I feel like that doesn't disturb
to the power system though, because he learned a very specific technique in the power system for him to even compete against Kaido in the situation that we're talking about. He had to learn that Conqueror's hockey ability from old dude. What's his name, Miles? The dude that he learned from.
I was looking at the comment. Hyogoro, old man Hyogoro.
No, there's another guy you're to meet later on, Santo. But yeah, he had to teach him that ability to even put up a fight.
And awaken his fruit. Like it's all tied in. And it's crazy. We're arguing versus Naruto versus One Piece, but I think most of us probably have Naruto in our top 10 too. Like I
have them both in my top 10.
I'm at 6.
No, that's actually valid. So that's a good point. Let's read this super chat and then we'll figure out this. So do shows like Yu Yu Hakusho Soul Eaters suffer because the power system isn't as vast and complicated?
I don't know.
Me personally, I have a criteria list.
So do I.
I think I'm gonna fight for Fire Force again. Maybe I didn't do a good enough job of explaining it. I think Fire Force's power system. It was make mine. Obviously, I didn't make One Piece. I haven't seen One Piece. So I didn't put it on my list. I didn't see a few. But the fact that Adola Yuza's show can literally manipulate time, Benimaru and his thing, the different generations of fire, even the Infernals, like I think it suffers for that. It like even something like Mushoku Tensei, which I put on the list because I think it may be one of the more comprehensive like fantasy power system, not just in terms of magic, how magic works, but even the different sword styles, the North God, the Sword God, the Water God styles, like those are all different. And if you're not willing to kind of put in the like, I understand that, but for me, it's on my list because I really like how it works. So that's why I'm saying that I think Fire Force is, I've said it plenty of times, wholeheartedly underrated. Wholeheartedly. It just doesn't get the love, even though it has amazing fights, great characters, all that stuff. And I also think it's being also underrated because people just think, oh, it's about some guy uses fire and it's this when it's more than just that. I'm sorry, Briggs, you dropped it, but it's a great show.
I dropped it like 3 episodes in, to be fair, so I'm sure you're kind of selling it. I'm sure it gets so much better.
I mean, the show Shinra fight is incredible, let alone when you see the other characters how they use their abilities.
It's a good power system.
I'm gonna touch you.
Okay.
I think it's solid, but I don't know if it's like top 10 worthy compared to like some of the others. I think it's very solid, and I think it is very, very underrated. But I don't think it's better than its previous creation in the. I don't think it's better than Soul Eater's power system.
Yeah, I disagree with Kent saying that Soul Eater doesn't have a vast and complicated power system. I disagree with that.
I disagree.
But all right, Santo, what did you vote for? So Ty and Random actually voted for Chakra. So technically, you can tie it up.
I'm tying it then.
Okay.
I'm not as well versed in JoJo's.
Okay. So
I mean, the comments are saying stance if it's going to the comments. I'm like,
yeah, we're gonna have to put a poll up in the chat. So while we do that, 5 and 6 is basically either Chakra stands in that order. So let's talk about number 7. Briggs, you can start out with number 7. Assume that stands in Chakra is gone. But I'm about to put a poll up.
I'm trying to think here. Do you mind if I see the list real quick again?
I got you.
For number 7 here. I really like Bleach. I don't know if I would want to put it at number 7, but I do want to like nominate it for a discussion here.
I'm with you.
Yes, I'm there. I am there. I am right
Does
there.
the same not apply to Bleach than Naruto?
Yes.
Naruto's already on the list, Ty. Naruto's
already on the list.
No, I'm just saying y'all criteria. For example, if I were to bring up Dragon Ball, that would be y'all point when it applies to Bleach too.
But no,
and it also applies to JoJo. I don't get what's the confusion. I don't get what's the same knocks on Chakra is the same knocks on stands. I just have one above the other.
The point is, none of these are knocks. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why are these knocks? That's what I'm trying to understand.
The things where in terms of like the pros and cons, stands and Chakra have. And if you want to say Zanbakuto, Keto Spirit, they all have like the same pros, cons in the story. They all have this. They're very similar in terms of that. Like so, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. I think it's just my personal preference at this point.
My bad. Let me resume out for you, Briggs.
Jesus, that's a lot.
Yeah, I think I'm going with Bleach right now. I do also think I got Pokemon in my top 10 at some point here. I love it. I think it's so freaking good, the system. I just think the anime is ass at times, right?
No, that's very valid. I also co-sign Bleach. I do think like my thing about one of my criteria is like its general appeal. And what I mean by that is the entertainment of when they use these powers on screen.
Yes.
Bleach is one of the best at that. You are so excited to see what this person's Bankai is. Like, that is one of the first things people are still talking about. What is Aizen's Bankai? Like, they are obsessed with the idea to know what Aizen's Bankai is. And there's, like, when it comes to a variety of the abilities and how different they are and how much it matches the characters too, that's a dime a dozen. Not only is it when it comes to the Zanpakutos, but also when it comes to the Quincy abilities, which got even crazier. And of course, when it comes to a different extent, kind of similar with Zanpakutos, but the stuff with the Arankar as well. I think the Bleach Fire system is very enjoyable. There's a lot of unique ways to use it. Sometimes it's power against power, but other times it's how you defeat the ability when you got broken abilities that you have to go up against. For example, of course, when it comes to like Shunsui's Bankai, or when it comes up against like Yamamoto's Bankai, so you would have to have a counter. Like Yuha had a counter for Yamamoto's Bankai because he didn't want to deal with it. So yeah, I also second Bleach. I'm here with that. Lonnie, what you got?
No, but to add on, just a different power, like from the Zanpakutos to the Resurrections to the Fullbringers to now the Stern Riders, and then now with knock on wood, hopefully the Hell Arc, we'll get to see some more abilities. Also, like how Ryatsu is Let me have this. Also,
I don't actually care about the mental health, Lonnie.
also how
Yeah,
Ryaku was used, but also like Kasame and Mayuri, how their experimentations on like the souls and different things on that aspect. How also Keto, I think, is really interesting. And when you get into Burn the Witch, how you find out that those witches are basically just the European soul eaters, just like a little bit in the future. How they also use Keto with like their wands and stuff like that. It's very complex, and including Burn the Witch, since it's the same verse, then like now you have magical creatures and dragons and things about that. So I think it's vast. I think it's complex. I think that how is it nasty? It's the same verse. They're both soul reapers. They're soul reapers. They're soul reapers. I don't know what to tell you. Burn the Witch. They're soul reapers.
If
They're
it's the same verse, it's the system applies. The power system applies.
They're the European division of the Soul Society. So yeah, we got magical creatures, we got soul reapers, Arankars, Starn Riders, the Fullbringers, and then in the middle people like Orihime and Chad, and yeah, I just think
All right. So we got 3 votes for Bleach. Do we have a 4th vote for Bleach to just put it on the list? And that is 4. Let's go. All right. Here's the updated list. We're almost done with it.
Damn it.
Cry about a Kai.
Here's the updated list. Sands won the poll. Not Chakra is 6. Spiritual Energy in Bleach is 7th. Number 8, Santo. What would be number 8 in your opinion?
Jesus Christ.
If you want to steal this.
Jesus Christ. I don't want to go quirks. Let's go Key from Dragon Ball. I like the different I like the different uses of it. I like the different techniques that characters use just using Key. I think it's actually like, how would I say it? From seeing different species use Key as well, I think it's pretty cool. I got Dragon Ball.
Okay, we got 1 vote for Dragon Ball. Does anybody have a counter to Key?
Can I see the power systems?
I'm not going to counter, but me and Briggs' niche picks need to make it up there. So we automatically get 9 and 10, right?
I just don't know if I love Key as a power system. Like I love Dragon Ball, but I don't know if it's intricate enough for me.
Actually,
when I think power systems, I don't think of Key.
yeah, Ty, what do you think about curse energy?
I was gonna have. I had Key and Curse Energy in my top 10.
I have Curse Energy. I don't have Key.
I have curse energy there.
I like Cursed Energy too, boys.
We need to have a discussion why Stans is over Cursed Energy, but we'll leave that for another day.
He is.
Bro, you're a
He is.
stat hater, dude.
Oh, we got the Stan hater.
This is gonna be in the chat the whole week.
I just said one day we're gonna have a discussion. That's all. That's not.
Yeah, man,
Have you watched like part 4, part 5, part 6?
We're gonna have a discussion.
Yeah,
I want to hear you guys' perspectives on it.
Oh, have you seen JoJo's?
Only a little bit. Hold on a second. That's okay. Watch Irie. It was cool.
Okay. All right, Ty.
Hold on a second. Everyone can. Hold on a second. A lot of you niggas don't remember Dragon Ball. Y'all still having opinions, so I don't want to hear that.
Not remembering.
At least we saw it. You know what, Ty? How about this? When you get to like part 6, then get back to me. Actually,
I'm not high on Stans either. I just
part
want
is
y'all
about
have
the
fun.
animated. Part 7, Steel Ball Run. That's the best JoJo story.
You know
Period.
what's so funny? I didn't even know Steel Ball Run was JoJo's. I remember people kept saying Steel Ball Run.
It's not part of the main continuity.
I know. People treat it like 2 different series.
All right. So
that is the best story. I think you'll like it.
we got Santo saying Key, and then Cursed Energy was provided for alternative. I personally have Cursed Energy over Key. What does everybody else think?
I get my niche pick at 9, right? Or 10?
What number are we at?
We're at 8.
Okay, I'll say Key.
Yeah, I'll go Curse Energy.
I voted Cursed Energy.
So 3 Cursed Energy, 2 Keys, Miles, random.
Random. What you doing?
Random, are you good?
Yeah, what's up?
He has the hat over his eye.
What? What?
Curse energy or key? Which one are you picking?
You said cursed energy. I've already said my two that I would fight for, so it don't even matter. I'm fighting for ignition and the pop magic system.
Okay,
Curse energy or key. Curse energy or key.
we need your vote for this.
I'd pick key.
Let's
key.
go.
Oh, really?
Let's
You know
go.
what? I'm gonna dick ride. I'm picking key
Why? Why are you the dick ride?
for the sake of dick riding. You know I do that.
You see what Team Heroes be on? You see what?
You know what? We always have to have
That is true. Ty's the hero. Random's a hero. I'm a hero.
Hey, man.
Riddle, what did you pick? Betrayer.
I'm about to say,
Right?
Dragon Ball got all the
that's
techniques y'all
a good
love.
one. You know what?
You got it there, Red. Where
You
you know
got
the
it there,
character's
Miles.
weaker, but they have a technique that can help them surpass them, like destructive disc, spirit bomb, tri-beam, all that stuff like that. Y'all like that, right? When you're weaker to somebody, but you have a technique that can help you pass them. That's what y'all point for JoJo's, right? No.
Yo,
No, right. What about absorption?
That was one of the 10 points we listed.
What about? Hold on a second. You have absorption. What about key drain? You have. I'm just saying the things that y'all told me that if you're weaker to someone, this helps you surpass them. Android 19 surpassed Goku with absorption. Cell surpassed androids. With key absorption. Cell paps androids.
Goku wasn't healthy though.
You know what I gotta say to that, Ty? When you reach part 6,
Krillin almost killed Nappa. Vegeta told me if you didn't dodge it, he would have got his head taken off. Tri-beam helped. Cell? Chien stop Cell. Key sensing was that massive advantage that the Earthlings had on Namek because no one could sense key. They were around. The reason they collected Dragon Balls faster than everyone there was because they could sense key and none of the other free sources could. I can name multiple examples. Goku's spirit bomb.
It made the list.
I think while
Goku defeated Kid Buu. Goku's weaker than Kid Buu and defeated with spirit bomb. Don't y'all like that? I thought y'all did.
Like, while that's absolutely
valid,
I'm just asking.
I'll have a rebuttal when you
I
reach
feel
part
like it just
6.
doesn't happen enough.
No, line. I'm just saying y'all describe the things y'all like in power system. I'm like, well, Dragon Ball got that.
That was one of the 10 things that we said.
Let it go.
All right, it's trash.
So now we have
one thing over 5 and 6. Over 5 and 6. That's crazy.
we have two more spots.
Oh man.
So cursed energy. Do we think that should be number 9?
I just love that both like the users and I don't know the word for like the actual monsters themselves are both using cursed energy in very different ways. Every user is also so specialized. I do like that a lot for cursed energy.
Yeah, I mean, even though the reason why it wouldn't be higher on my list for cursed energy, even though it has a lot of intricacies and it's very well thought out, like extremely well thought out, is sometimes he can be doing a little too much. So that's why it's like, this is not something that the average person is going to go like, yeah, I get everything that's going on my screen. I understand it.
Yeah, I still don't understand certain abilities. What's Gojo's abilities? Like, I'm gonna be honest, it just looked cool.
You know something about that? So this is something to help me with JJ King. Just like that. I feel like just simplify it. You can't touch him. Everything else is irrelevant. You can't touch him. Hakari's, he can heal when he get jackpot. Nothing else. All the other stuff you don't even think about it. Like it's.
Hey man, I hear you. So curse energy. I'm gonna say curse energy because I do think that it deserves to be on a list like this. It just does. So I'm gonna go curse energy as well. Lonnie, Miles, Random, Santo, Ty.
I'm fine with that. I want to see what Miles's niche pick is, though.
I'll say cursed energy.
All right. So now with that said,
It was gonna be servants, Lonnie.
we have number 10. So 10 is the argument. The 10 is the big one. Briggs provided Pokemon being on the list. I heard servants being on the list. Like, they're kind of the same thing, right? Pokemons and servants, they're the same thing.
Nah, don't make me do the debate.
Yo,
I'm not gonna lie.
wait,
wait. What?
No.
I'm not following. I'm not following. What do you mean by servants? For what series?
Fate.
From Fate.
Oh,
Because it's not just the servants. I'm gonna be brief. Even though the anime doesn't explicitly explain it to you, a lot of the mechanics that are present in the video games and the graphic novels are very much present in the story as well. So if you've ever noticed whenever Saber is fighting a caster in any of the Fate series, she slams them every single time. And that's because built into the servant's power system, Sabers are highly resistant against magic. I'd have to make like a whole video to explain how intricate the system actually is. I was just gonna dick around and say Pokemon, but if y'all are gonna make me do it, I'll stand on servants.
I'll go with servants.
Oh, you
I'll go with
sad, bro.
servants.
Oh, y'all sad, bro.
They're both really good. I personally, I'm gonna throw this one out. It's not gonna win because I don't think anyone on this. Maybe someone might surprise me, but Tryon from World Trigger.
Oh, Tron for World Trigger is actually tough.
Tryon from World Trigger is amazing. It is. When it comes to like strategy and using an ability there's very few series that do it better than World Trigger and Tryon, and how all the different abilities work, all the different formations that they have to use in combination with the type of person and what their role is, whether it's a sniper, whether it's someone who is a heal, like someone who has a lot of Tryon and can be like a grenader, basically. There is so much intricacies, but I'm a shout out Ty for knowing what World Trigger is. That thing is,
Yeah, I would say World Trigger stuff.
it's super
I would
tough.
say Jen is low key like Gojo.
I mean, World Trigger came first, so
No, I'm not. That wasn't like saying.
no, I know, not you. I know you. I'm just pushing agendas because Jin is him. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Underrated. Jin.
Because one thing is really cool. If you know, I see World Trigger, that you have an ability, you also have a side effect, right? So one of the characters, my Jin, his side effect is that he can see the future, or like he can like get like he can see pretty much see the future.
Yeah.
Like so, imagine every ability every character has, and then like a cool side effect that goes along with it.
Yeah.
And there's like snipers, swordsmen. Well, there's a lot of stuff in World Trigger, low key.
They get down into battle strategies too, with how all the different one. And the main character is the epitome of has to get it out the mud. He is garbage in terms of fighting ability. Like he has to constantly use his brain to constantly win fights. So
win fights is interesting language.
Oh, survive fights. That's better. Survive fights. He has to survive fights. But yeah, I don't think people. Nah, because I'm with you, Ty. I don't think people are locked into that. So is everybody Pokemon? So we got two servants. We got Briggs who said Pokemon.
I'm voting Pokemon, but I'm okay with it losing. I'm okay with it losing just because I feel like the anime doesn't make it. Like it's at the end of the day, it's aimed at a younger audience, so they don't make it as complicated as it could be. Because between every Pokemon having a different type or two types, and then teaching them different abilities that could be different types, and countering your opponent, swapping out Pokemon, using different items and stuff like that, giving them different items to hold in the games, it is so. I think it's so great, and if it was a more mature anime, I think it could have been implemented so well. And I just like Naruto, it just wasn't.
And just to double down, like not just that, also like Pokemon natures, EVs, IVs, invulnerabilities, quad weaknesses, move types, setup moves. And I mean, something as ridiculous in the anime, like you have to have this gym badge, or else your Pokemon just doesn't listen to you at all. Like, shout out Charizard. Like, no,
they have to respect you as an individual. Like, it's crazy.
Like
if your Pokemon is too strong, like they literally won't respect you enough to like follow your orders. It's so cool.
Okay. Random. So we got two servants, two Pokemon. Random, are you staying 10 toes? Because if you stay 10 toes and Ty.
Why do you look so mysterious down there, dude?
Oh, Ty.
He's aura farming.
Number 10?
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Random, if you stay 10 toes and me and Ty say Tryon, Briggs and Santos say Pokemon, and Miles and Lonnie say servants, we'll put a poll up.
Okay. I'm choosing servants. I'm right.
Oh,
I did have a question for Random.
Disgusting.
I did have a question for Random. I wanted to save it till don't answer it now, but next week, because to argue with you better, I finished Mushoku Tensei, as you know. But now I'm also almost officially caught up with ReZero, especially with how ReZero's been cooking. I think in terms of the magic power system, they're close. Mushoku Tensei power system is very, very underrated and it's not talked about enough. But ReZero, in terms, it might be the better power system. It might be.
If you want to talk about magic, I would agree with you. But
Y'all should fight about it next week.
when
Mid
I
versus
talk
mid.
about when I talk about
Mid
like,
versus
when I'm
mid,
talking about the whole power system, like it's like
Yo, they're nasty.
I promise.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Hey, we
I'm
gotta.
sorry, y'all.
Hey,
I'm
no,
sorry.
let our fellow
That was Bob.
no, go crazy, go crazy.
I'm
go
sorry,
crazy.
y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all.
We'll talk about it next week. Miles
Yeah.
ain't shit.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, this is the last thing. Before we officially wrap it up, I'm gonna give everybody the opportunity to mention one more power system that did not make the list or got mentioned. Just give it a little, shout out, and then I'm gonna announce the list, and then we're done with this segment. So everybody, just think of one system that you want to shout out. Oh, Miles, you want to start it out?
I can't pronounce it, but Lonnie, how did the one for Tokyo Ghoul not make it? The Kaneks,
Kagane.
Kagane, Kaneks,
Close
whatever
enough.
that shit's called. Yeah, and how they're, part of it comes from your ghoul body, but then the CCG also repurposed them and made like weapons for humans as well. I thought that was pretty cool. There's limitations on it, based off like your nature. It wasn't bad until it eventually did evolve into the angrier I get, the stronger my thing gets. But before that, it was really, really cool.
Yeah, I was not gonna mention it because not enough people here are really locked in. I appreciate you, Miles, for saying that though. That touches my heart, but not enough people here are locked in.
Okay. Okay. Miles shouted out Kagane. Lonnie, what do you want to shout out?
I wanted to shout out the power system from Soul Eater. I think that's very underrated. And shout out Black Kid. That's all I gotta say. Shout out Black Kid. Black Star.
Okay.
Black
Shout
Star,
out
bro.
Soul Eater. The power system I'll shout out, even though I give it a lot of crap. I will shout out. No, I'm gonna keep on giving it a crap. Screw Black Clover. Bungo Stray Dogs
What?
has a really great power system with all the unique ways they use abilities and all the rules behind everybody's abilities too. There's very few characters that just overpower people. The only one that's like that is like the Gravity dude. Every character has to use their brain and has to use their knowledge on the abilities to win a fight. Other than the Gravity guy, who's OP as hell, who also can't just win every fight he goes up against, Bungo Stray Dogs has an amazing power system with their abilities. So that's one I'm push. Briggs, what you got?
Honestly, shout out to my boy. Some guy in your chat right now said darker than black. That's a cool power system. I need to rewatch that shit, but I do remember it being really, really interesting.
No,
I don't know how to do with contracts and a bunch of like mystery stuff going on. Everyone had unique abilities, and there was a consequence to each one. If I remember correctly, it was cool.
Oh, shout out Darker Than Black, underrated. Santo.
Let's go My Hero. I'll just say quirks. I like the different aspects of quirks itself. Different physical upgrades, different types of quirks regarding what's the guy that turns into the octopus guy with all the eyes and stuff.
Oh, I know you're talking about Class 1A.
Toji? No.
Yeah,
that guy.
Koji,
Like
Koji.
yeah.
No, just seeing different types.
Sun Eater. You talking about Sun Eater?
Nah, he's talking about the guy with the guy that had the metamorph.
Yeah,
The guy that had the mask on.
yeah. I'll just give it up to quirks. Quirks is cool.
Oh, Sun Eater. Oh, him. Okay, that's
No, he's talking about Class 1A.
Oh,
Koji. I got it.
One that was fighting racism, pretty
Orange
much.
okay. Ty, what you got?
One double contracts from Chainsaw Man. Let me think. There's this one anime that it may not hold up because it's an older series. It may not hold up in recent time. But I don't know if have you ever seen a series called Buso Rinkin. They basically use these like alchemic weapons. You're muted, Lonnie.
Shit. Busho Rankin is one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, Buso Rinkin. They basically use alchemy and they use weapons. It's super tough, but it's an older series. It may not hold up if I rewatch it. So I'm scared to rewatch it. But it's tough.
By the same person that made Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out. Random, what you got?
I'll give the power system from Slime a lot of love too. I think obviously it may seem unfair because if you are reincarnated into the slime world, you do get an extra buff from the power from the words of the world. But you can like for instance, you can sacrifice skills for people to get new skills. Like you see that in season two with that one dude who attacks Tempest. Obviously how the demon lords work and their skills. And it is a point where even though you're just a regular guy, you can work and earn new skills. Kind of like how Rimuru shows you how, because he was a slime, but him through meeting certain people, through being in different through being in different environments, you can also learn certain skills. And I think it's very underrated. It just isn't like, oh, you're stronger because Rimuru was finding different ways to. For instance, let me give you an example. When he fought Hinata at the end of basically right before Tempest gets attacked, Hinata had him dead to rights, and he found a way to escape that fight. Yet I think if he was smart, he could have won the fight because of his ability to absorb damage, take skills, and also Hinata has this skill called Usurper, which allows her. She's basically Kakashi. So eventually she learns, she picks it up. So the best way to beat Hinata is that you have to beat her quickly. And Rimuru could have done that if he was smarter, but he wasn't. And also he was clearly on the back foot because Hinata literally did what's the main character? An Austin and like made a magic nullifying field for him specifically, and Rimuru was still able to find ways to escape it. Like the slime power system is very well done.
Shout out, man. With that said, our official top 10 list of the top 10 best power systems in all of anime. Number 10, Servants from Fate. Number 9, Curse Energy from Jujutsu Kaisen. Number 8, Ki from Dragon Ball. Number 7, Spiritual Energy from Bleach. 6, Chakra from Naruto. 5, Stands from JoJo's. 4, Titan Powers / ODM Gear. 3, Devil Fruit / Hockey. 2, Nen. And 1, Alchemy. Pretty good list, I would say. Pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's looking solid, boys. Not bad.
All right. Well, that is our top 10 power systems all time segment. Like I said before we started, Briggs, if you want to stick around, feel free. If you got to head out, completely understand because we be talking for a very long time. But we do appreciate you coming on and having this conversation with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, man. I am gonna bounce out, but that was a lot of fun. Random. I'm gonna watch Fire Force because like you kind of sold me a little bit to get back into it. And yeah, I'm happy to come on again in the future, boys.
Absolutely. And Fire Force season 1 has the best opening too, so it's going to have you a little hyped up before you start watching. I understand why it is like a little bit of a slow burn, but once they start boxing and you kind of see different things, because especially at the end of season 1, you want to be like, oh my god, that's why. Like they'll tell you, I think Fire Force is the most underrated shonen because of when it came out, with Black Clover going crazy, My Hero going crazy, obviously Mob Psycho and other things like that. It got the short end of the stick. But it's incredible. The only problem with Fire Force is Tamaki. Get out of there.
Trash.
And nothing changes. And that's the only problem with the story. And I'm finally excited that it's coming back this year. I don't know why it takes so long for Fire Force to get another season, but it's finally back for season 3. I'm excited.
I'm pumped. I'm gonna do some reactions. I've been looking for something to watch. So
Oh yeah, lock in. Lonnie, you want to say something?
I was gonna say before you leave, 2 questions. Can we get your anime hot take and then your anime Mount Rushmore?
Anime hot take and anime Mount Rushmore. So by Mount Rushmore, you're talking about like the most influential figures.
It's whatever you like. If you can only watch those animes, or if they're the best to you, whatever your criteria is for your Mount Rushmore, whatever you want.
Oh man, I mean, you got to put Dragon Ball and One Piece up there just because I feel like they're just them. And then I just want to put up like some ones that are like maybe closer to my heart, like Death Note and Full Metal Alchemist, like just a little bit of variety on the Mount Rushmore. Some of my other favorites are like Steins Gate. I don't know if I would put it up there, but I just want to mention my goat. And you said an anime hot take. Oh my goodness. Off the top of my head, man, this is a tough one. I don't know. You put me on the spot. Next time I come back on, I'll have one ready for you.
All right, bet. We got you. But yeah, appreciate you coming on. This was a great conversation. You know, a lot of some good back and forth. And yeah, if you want to come on in the future, we will love to have you.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right. See, I will catch you later. With that said, gents, people in the chat, everybody listening, make sure you guys go check out Briggs, go follow his channel, follow his socials, do all that good stuff, of course. But we're about to get right into some stuff. I was thinking what to do first, but before I get into like what we're about to start off with, we did hit 5 super chats. So I did drop the link. I just didn't want to drop the link when we have a guest here for obvious reasons. So if we do have a guest and you guys hit the 5 super chat goal, then I'm gonna have to drop it when the guest leaves. If they're staying the entire time, I'll drop it when we're done with the segment. But whoever wants to come in, we drop the link for you. We're gonna start off with agenda hour. There's a couple things that we got to discuss, or should we start off with the trial? What should we start off with?
Is Ty even here?
Ty, you here?
Ooh,
No, he's not here.
I think we gotta wait on Ty.
So I guess agenda hour.
So we start with the agenda hour. We got Jaden and Kent. So Trendy said, let's start off the trial. Kaz said trial. People want to hear the trial that
Isn't Ty one of the main ones that wanted the trial?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was with us. Everybody wants the
I
trial.
said, put that man on.
All right,
trial.
We gotta buy him some time. We gotta buy Ty some time.
Everybody wants the trial. Hey, we gotta listen to people. We'll go to the trial. We'll tell them. We'll tell the verdict. Me and Miles, and then when Ty comes back, he'll be part of the conversation. But with that said, it's time to get negative. So this man random's on trial.
Dun, 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 dun.
And Jaden, Kent, we see you in the back. When we say the verdict, we'll let you guys voice your opinions too about the verdict before we let Random even explain himself. But let's explain the verdict first. So,
Random, you are on trial.
love you.
Yo.
So basically, what happened? I've been talking a lot. Do you want me to explain it, Miles, or do you want to explain it?
I feel like you remember better than I do. So
Okay.
you can explain it.
All right. So I think we were on Open Dojo.
Yes, we
Correct.
were.
So we were on Open Dojo, and we were talking about Naruto came up randomly, and we're talking about certain events that happened in Naruto. And earlier on in the day, Random messaged us, put something in the group chat. He said, "R.I.P." and he was referring to Datara. But then someone brought something up in the chat, and we remembered, like, I think it was an episode before on a podcast episode.
Literally the Tuesday before.
Yeah.
The Tuesday before, Random was talking about someone getting jumped. And he was talking about Sasuke. He was talking about Sasuke getting his ass beat. And then we're like, wait, how did Sasuke see the fight against Killer Bee if he just saw the Datara fight? Something's not adding up. It's not making sense. 2 and 2 is not equaling 4 right now. So we started coming up, we started thinking, like, wait, did Random just lie to us where he was in Naruto?
You dirty, stinking liar.
In 4K? So he is on trial for the lies and the
Misinformation.
misinformation. Before we get into that, Jaden, Kent, do you have anything to say about Random being on trial?
I just
a little fishy in here.
I just hope for my guy Rando's sake that he clears his name, because I hate to see another black man fall victim to this justice system.
You know, we hope too. You know, we are fellow friends. We are kindred spirits. Some may say we're brothers from different mothers, but this is a damning case. It's not looking good.
This is new. This is news to me. Mostly, I knew that. I saw that like you guys were saying that he was on trial, but I wasn't at Open Dojo. I was busy doing wedding bullshit. But yeah, this is random.
I believe
Clear
Random's
name.
innocent. I believe Random's innocent.
What?
You're muted.
You're muted, random.
I'm gonna say this because I don't think it matters. I think y'all don't say guilty, but I think I mentioned this before. But I'll say it again. Maybe I misspoke last week. One of the few fights that I've seen from Naruto is the Killer Bee fight. I've seen that before I ever watched the show, so I saw that. Well, now where I'm at, because y'all gonna ask me, Naruto just got genjutsu'd by Itachi again, and that's why I was like, man, this boy Itachi pull out his genjutsu after I've seen the Deidara fight, and Sasuke. Look, all I'm gonna say. Go ahead. You want to accuse a man of plot armor? How did Sasuke get out of that? Oh, wait. Deidara does his giant Deidara bomb, right? Whatever. I don't C3, C4. I'm not good enough to know that. Sasuke gets caught. Oh no, it's a genjutsu. No, Deidara does. I've trained my left eye to get against the genjutsu. Caught him. Sasuke's cooked. And then he gets out of that because he used a snake or whatever to get out of him being encircled like that. And then Deidara dies. And I'm like, I'm not gonna hold you. That's cap. If Bakugo did that, that's cap. That's cap. Maybe I'm just not smart.
Why Bakugo?
Okay, fine. Hold on, because y'all gonna focus on the fact that I said Bakugo. Hold on. Let me say another name. If Arthur from Fire Force, I'd be calling Cap.
No, that Bakugo came from his soul.
It was just the first name that came to my mind.
Bakugo was the first.
Like, I'm sorry, I just thought of a insert secondary protagonist here. Boom, that's what I thought. And then that. So if I'm on trial because I mentioned seeing the Sasuke and I'm working my way toward that. So my bad for saying I watched the one fight that I've ever seen from Naruto before I started, which was the Killer Bee fight, and I fucked up my thing because I'm not there yet. I'm at the point, and I'm at chapter 357 because I read it this morning, where Sasuke and Itachi have seen each other in the Uchiha hideout, and it looks like they're about to throw hands. So I'm like, when I told Lonnie yesterday, is this the big fight that y'all motherfuckers that we're talking about, where Sasuke finally gets to run hands with Itachi? I stopped right there. That's where I'm at. So I am guilty, I guess, because I jumped forward in time because I didn't know that. That's the one fight.
See, my issue here is I feel like I said verbatim, "Oh, you're at this part now," and you never corrected me. You never made it clear that no, I'm not at that part. I just watched this fight. It made me think, and I think it made the entire panel think, that you were further ahead in Naruto than you actually were.
That's my bad.
And that's deceitful.
That's my bad. I'll go to jail.
That's fine. That man is guilty.
Man,
I'll go to jail. It's my bad.
Miles, what you got to say?
I got him as not guilty. I'm going to hold him at his word. If he's saying that he just saw the fight in advance, it's a very popular fight. I feel like it was very possible. I gotta go back and rewatch the episode because I gotta verify if you, Riddell, were vehemently asking him if this was the part that he was on. If that's true, I'll change my verdict. But for now, I got not guilty. You did, bro.
Okay. Lonnie?
I'm probably cooked. Doesn't matter.
Regardless, his sentencing should be that he has to finish the pain arc by Tuesday. That should be.
I'm not going to do
regardless.
I'm not going to do that.
That's really not that much. That's really not that much.
Stand on business, Random.
I'm not going to do
really
that.
not that much left.
Time it on episode 200 of Gintama since the podcast started.
Wow, he threw it at you.
High on trial.
First Bakugo, now he's throwing time to the bus for Gintama.
Hey Ty, what is your rebuttal to the fact
Hitting
that
that
you
man while he's
you're
eating is
just as
gross.
slow as me
I got you,
in
I got you.
watching stuff?
Naruto's good.
Yo,
That's the difference. No, listen, y'all. I respect Srirachi. I think that's his name. He's obviously a main writer. His story is not for me. Random likes Naruto. I don't like Gintama. That's not.
I will let the
That's
slander
fair.
go.
That's fair.
No.
Wow.
That
That's
is
not
fair,
fair.
so I will let the slander go. I mean, it is legit different. And we actually said this behind the scenes. I'm gonna bring it to light because if you don't like a series, I can see why you wouldn't want to continue. Like me, I had to speed run watching Banana. I wasn't a big fan, but I had to speed run through it. I didn't want to really lock in that much. You said you like Naruto, so that's why we're kind of questioning. Like,
back to reread it.
do you like
I
Naruto?
read
are you
one
liking
arc
what
and
you
y'all are
read?
dragging it.
You
Like, what are we doing
You
here?
reread Land of Waves 17 times.
No, we can lie all we want. I reread it once.
I will never rewatch a
No,
Gintama.
it's just the
arc.
fact that like you're still
Never.
like at this point in Naruto, like it's just crazy. I don't know.
I'm okay. If you want me to be honest, there are times where I'm like I'm reading and I'm like I'm just not gripped the way I was in the beginning. Like I've severely mentioned multiple times that I love Naruto a lot more than I'm liking whatever Shippuden. I like OG Naruto more than
Oh, because
Shippuden.
I didn't like the series. I was just giving an example. Sauce.
Like that's me. I really like OG Naruto more than I like Shippuden. Like
Fair.
I'm watching Rock Lee. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. That's the greatest he's ever gonna be. Is that when I feel like it should be so much more. Now, are there great fights? Absolutely. Like the Sasuke Deidara fight was it feel like whoever was just smarter, and then Deidara didn't have plot armor and Sasuke did it. That's how it felt to me watching that fight. Because I'm like you said, y'all told me to read and watch the fights, and that's how it felt to me.
I don't know. It's just been taking a long ass time, random.
I'm reading. I got other things. I got a new client that I'm working for. It don't matter. I'm reading at the pace I'm reading. Like if y'all making it seem like I'm just putting the book down and walking away. I'm reading at the pace I'm reading.
Oh, my thing is, are you gonna be able to finish One Piece by the end of the year?
I think so.
No.
Hey, he said he thinks so. I'm gonna take him for his word.
How about this? Random. I'll do you a challenge. You read One Piece because that's faster. I finished Gintama. I'm on episode 220. I watched like 10 episodes last month, and I got another 100 and oh my god, I got 140 episodes left. Oh my gosh. I'll finish it before you finish reading One Piece. This episode, you like read a chapter in like 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta sit down and watch 140 episodes of Gintama. Oh my god!
You can hear the pain.
How about Riddell watch it with me since you like it so much? How about that?
What you say?
No, wait.
Wait, no. What did you say?
Yo,
what did you
I
say?
swear, every time I ask the Gintama fan, hey, watch it with me, they're like, let me know you get to good part. I'm like, all right, okay, y'all love it though, allegedly.
Hey, I'm doing my thing with Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying? Season 2, episode 5. I'm on
5?
no 6.
I'm watching Game of Thrones too, but I have to coordinate with my siblings' schedule because they want to watch it with me. I'm on episode like 6 of season 1.
You know, we're making some moves. With that said, verdict, Ty, Santo, verdict.
I'm gonna say not guilty, but if you read Land of Waves one more time,
Read it twice.
I'll play.
Read it twice.
All
Right, and I'll be honest, it's still my favorite arc in Naruto.
For real?
Yeah.
Santo, verdict.
I'm saying guilty, and this is why. I'm on 536 episodes of the One Piece anime.
This man got kids.
I do not care.
Guilty.
Jaden, what is your verdicts?
He got
walk
kids.
away from the mic.
I'm gonna say not guilty for my boy Randall. I'm gonna go not guilty.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Jaden,
Because in his defense though, it is quite easy, and I think we all know it. With like given the climate of social media, it's very easy for you to not be watching a series, but to see one of these iconic fights because it's just that. I mean, look at Jiren and Goku; it was everywhere. So, I say not guilty.
I don't even watch. I duck almost everything Naruto now. Like I've done that multiple times. When y'all started talking, I just muted the screen because I didn't want to hear nothing.
Jaden said not guilty too. Okay. All right. So it seems like the general consensus is not guilty. You escaped this one random. So Kent, you came up here, I'm sure for a reason. Did you want to get something off?
No, man, I just dropped the super chat. You guys know I love the show, man. Been following since PC Anime. Been here for a while. Had to come up here and reclaim the honor of Yusuke and Keiko. I have to say it again. I love the show. I really, really do. And I think you guys understand that I do love the show. This overwhelming just Yu Yu Hakusho just disregarded has to stop, fellas. Like it genuinely has to stop. I've watched us sit up here and try to console Lonnie with the whole Tokyo Ghoul thing. We just got done holding the whole court case for random with Naruto again. It's like, and constantly, it's like, even like I said, when we were talking about the romances, it was like, yeah, it's good, but okay, whatever. I gave the explanation to why Keiko and Yusuke should have been top 10, and the only response I got from Miles was, you gave a great fleshed out relationship, but we're going with Vegeta and Bulma just for the culture. Like, that right there is the epitome of what I'm talking about when it comes to Yu Yu Hakusho. It's like, we can admit that it's great, but nah, fam. Like that's the answer that I'm getting when it comes to Yu Yu Hakusho. Like, yeah, it's great. Nah, fam. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you said
Vegeta
that
is so overrated, bro.
because I actually did a poll
overrated.
on the best relationship, and I put Guts and Casca, Vegeta and Bulma, Edward and Renri, and Wizard Howl and Sophie Hatter. Last place was Wizard Howl and Sophie Hatter by a large amount. Second to last place was Guts and Casca. Second place was Vegeta and Bulma. Vegeta and Bulma actually was above Guts and Casca.
People saw that scene
and
from
almost beat Edward
Bro.
and Renri. So
Goku,
hey,
Vegeta and Bulma are not over Goku and Chi-Chi. I don't care what nobody say.
people saw that Daima episode and Bulma saying they're not going to take a bath no more. And not.
Hey, I'm glad you said that. So we're actually going to move into agenda hour.
Come on.
And there's some interesting topics we gotta discuss. So let's dive right into it. Can't want to send you down. But if you got anything else you want to say, let us know. But we're gonna get right into agenda hour. We'll drop the link one more time, two more times. We'll drop the link 2 more times to see if anybody else wants to come up and get their stuff off as well. But appreciate you coming up, Kent, and let's dive right into agenda hour.
No problem.
Sorry about that, Kent. But I'm glad you mentioned that because this actually transitioned right into one of the clips I want to show these fine gentlemen up here.
Ty, I'm also now mad at you because you like reawakened like a core memory of Busho Rinkin because I love that series. So it was like the 3rd or 4th anime I ever watched, and I mean read. And it made me want to. It made me want to draw, and then I found out I can't draw for shit, and I got mad, and that was like the one of the starts of my villain origin story. So thank you, Ty, for reminding me that I can't draw. Fuck you.
Wow.
W Ty.
That's tough.
Hey, Dragon Ball Daima has just dropped a very interesting scene for that man Vegeta. I'm going to skip through because copyright. Well, she continues to try to convince him, and she says she will not take a bath with him again if he does not stop fighting. And that was the fastest I've ever seen Vegeta in a long time. I'm not going to lie. What did we think about this scene where Bulma completely whipped Vegeta into shape because by threatening some personal time?
Yeah, that's called marriage. Okay, Santo knows that's called marriage. So, yeah, I feel for him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. As much as you want to be prideful, as much as you want to show strength, at the end of the day, you're whipped, bro. You're married.
Next topic.
Hey, I feel like that pretty much legitimized Vegeta and Bulma making the top 10. That was a perfect time for that to come out and completely validates everything we were saying.
It does.
You know what? Can't. I'm writing for you, bro. Use Ken Keiko till I die.
Now it's Yusuke and Keiko.
He did with them niggas.
Well, you didn't like that scene, Random?
That's just another way of just showing how toxic that relationship is, to the point that she's withholding happy time from the man. Nah.
Have your y'all girls ever withdrew happy
Next
time?
topic.
Hey, no, we're asking the real questions here, all right? We're trying to relate to the greatness that is Vegeta.
Is this still an anime podcast?
Did I just show you an anime scene? I think I did. I 100% did.
That was not an anime question.
That's not an anime
Next
question.
topic.
It's about your damn business.
That's how you relate to the scenes in the story.
Yeah, okay.
That's how it resonates with the emotions, of course. But shout out Dragon Ball Daima. That scene was going all over. Shout out Vegeta, of course, being that man. But that was not the scene that I wanted to show you. But I thought that was a fun scene to show to set things up. And Random kind of late threw me an alley-oop there. This is the scene that I wanted to show you guys from Dragon Ball Daima. But we saw how he achieved Super Saiyan 4 before. How does he do it now? Did the rules? Bro, why is his hand so big?
I think they're really playing on the monkey aspect.
Yeah.
Making it more
that's fucking huge. No, I hear you.
Canon. In a way that in a way that it makes sense for the story. So we obviously won't be able to use Super Saiyan 4 after this. Maybe another character will, but not these characters. Vegeta Super Saiyan 3, that also makes sense just because Super Saiyan 3 is a bad form. Like it doesn't, the way it consumes ki so much. And we already know that in Dragon Ball, you can be stronger than a higher transformation if you just raise your ki high enough. That's why like Vegeta, when he fought Beerus, was stronger than Super Saiyan 3 in a form that didn't require as much strain. So that even that aspect makes sense. So he just gave, I think before he went out, he was able to give people a lot of things they just wanted to see over the years in a way that's still consistent. So I think that's pretty cool.
I don't know the context of how he achieved it the second time. The first time Miles told me that the dude gave him magic, put magic in his body, and he achieved Super Saiyan 4. I mean, based off Saiyan lore, it would make sense that he learned from that, kind of similar to Super Saiyan God, where he learned how to do it, or he used the process of doing it, and then he was able to achieve it by himself. So if now that his body is used to it, I can see a logic where now he's learned it by himself. Now, it doesn't make sense for him to ever use it because he has Super Saiyan God, but it could be a situation where he teaches it to a Gohan or Broly, which I do think will be very good and very interesting for the story because that's what we've been waiting for, Super Saiyan 4. My only issue with this form is he has red hair, and I'll stand by that. I don't like how he has red hair.
Black hair Super Saiyan 4 was tough.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a situation in the future where like they just combine it as a transformation.
I mean, he's combining Goku and Gogeta. That means I guess we'll never see Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta again, probably, but it's still unfortunate as a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta fan.
I'm saying like you don't think like in a future arc we might see like a Super Saiyan 4 transformation combined with like a Super Saiyan God transformation?
I personally don't think so. Here's what I actually think. If this form does return back, it won't be Goku Vegeta because the God forms are just far superior. I do think Broly could get it because Broly already has a version of Super Saiyan 4 already because in the Super movie, I don't know if anybody hasn't seen it, he has a form in the Super movie before he's on Super Saiyan where he maximizes his Ozaru in a human state. So he already has that. So it would make sense for him to be able to use it.
Completely his to take. Just the way like when we look at how it's been set up, Goku's set up to be an angel, Vegeta set up to be a god of destruction, Gohan set up to be a Kai, and then Broly gets Super Saiyan 4. That's how it's kind of set up. At least those are the paths.
So dudes get like Giga Round.
My bad.
But that's just how I feel. Those are the 4 paths that are set. Now, are they all going to go that way? Like if Gohan gets a chance to be a Kai, he's going to turn it down, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Goku's never going to be an angel.
So it's just like the only one who I think could be locked in to take that is Vegeta, maybe as a god of destruction, depending on what happens. But other than that, that's it. But the paths are just there.
Yeah, I agree with Random. If they should keep Broly as more
Primal.
like grounded to what Saiyans are versus how you explained it. One's a Kai, one's a god of destruction. I personally, I just really don't like the fuchsia of it.
I agree. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I can't get past like, man, that is fuchsia. Like, make it red.
If they do a fusion next,
you don't get all that. You're just gonna put that as quick. You're just gonna take out all that as quickly as you can. That's the
Super
plan.
Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I mean, that fan service will go crazy, but at the same time, are they gonna make Vegeta's hair red?
Yeah, Vegeta's not for. I just don't. Because I think that isn't only one more episode left in Daima?
I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
They said that the last episode was going to air on the day that Toriyama died a year back. So I think he died March 1st. The last episode last year, the last episode was going to air on March 1st, I think.
Kai said the fusion bugs will be used for a gag next episode. Are they hinting at they're going to tease Gogeta and not actually do it? Is that what you guys are trying to say? Because, like I said, I don't watch Daima, so I have no idea. But shout out, even though criticisms here and there, I'm not really too invested or interested to watch Daima. I do think it's cool that Super Saiyan 4 is in the universe. I do think it's cool that it is canon into the verse. Shout out. Got another clip to show y'all. It's about Blue Lock. And we got a pretty famous individual, Hassan.
Okay.
On the Trash Taste podcast, probably the current #1 anime podcast that exists. And this is his take on Blue Lock.
Yeah, I don't know.
Blue Lock is a boy love anime. The only part in Blue Lock that doesn't make it fully a BL, I guess, is that they don't kiss.
They dudes get like giga round.
No. I get that.
Not
I get
all the time.
No,
Jesus Christ.
They get like impregnated.
There's sometimes when you have two characters and they're like, "Why do I feel tension here? Why?
Yeah.
Why do I feel
always
some
kiss.
tension here?"
Okay, that's Blue Lock.
No, they don't have a whole scene about like his aromas.
Dude,
That's so dumb.
They're telling a lot about themselves.
That's so stupid.
I don't
It's
get none of those vibes.
it's camaraderie. It's
they're not
team
spitting?
building. It has. That's
You know,
you know what that you know what that honestly is. That's just childish. That's just a childish mentality.
You know the thing about it is, I do think you can take romantic tropes and then flip them in a way that is not necessarily romantic. So, for example, Reo and Nagi, I think that the author does use romantic tropes to write their relationship, but I don't think they like each other though. You feel me? No. Like, for example, there's a scene where Reo has a flower and he says, "Does he love me? Does he love me not?" That's something you see in a romantic story, but he's doing it because we're not teammates anymore. You feel me? Like you can use romantic tropes in that way, but I don't think they actually we know that. And I think in Dallas, Reo likes women, and I don't think he likes guys. So I think you could do it that way. But I would say with their relationship and some of the there are certain. I mean, one person we know for sure is gay is Cheeto. I think Cheeto is gay. He was like, yo. I think him and Say. I think him and Say are actually like. He was like, yo, you go give me your number. Like I'm like, and he was like, yeah, call me out there. Like yeah. So those two, but I think out of that side of that, I think it just uses certain romantic tropes in a way that makes it dramatic.
To be fair, to kind of add the devil's advocate point, because that's what I do here. I don't think they necessarily mean that it's just like straight up like boys like each other, but I think they're probably thinking of it more in terms of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where it's like obviously no characters are actually guys that like each other, but there is a lot of men appreciation in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Is there? Because I really feel like that's overblown. I really
not just overblown doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Like, I really don't think it's there. Like, it's really not.
You don't think some of the poses they do and
How is
stuff like
that?
that?
No.
No, like
No.
like when they're talking about boy appreciation, they're talking about like them how they like grab each other and all that. That doesn't happen in JoJo's. They don't do that stuff. Like they're known for their exaggeration and like the outlandish things that they do. Yes, but in terms of like their interactions amongst each other, no. I feel like that's like that's like one of the biggest misconceptions about JoJo's.
All right. I mean, I was just referring to.
I mean, if I'm wrong, someone let me know. But
it's the same
I
dude that
mean,
came saying
there's
that.
nothing wrong with it. I don't know why there's such a fight back. It really depends on like how you see it. Like JoJo's is a very unique series in the sense that like they show the male physique as much as they do. They do these very interesting type poses that you don't typically see for like a bunch of men doing in an anime series, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I think JoJo's fantastic.
Yeah, but how do they
and then
interact?
as for like
it is a big deal though, because what you're describing and what they're saying are not the same thing though.
Yeah, the reason
Right?
why
It's not to put back to be stark about it. They're literally not the same thing. Flamboyant poses aren't boy love. That's the problem.
That's why I don't necessarily know what they mean. So that's why I added that potential caveat if that's what they're referring to.
And those poses, like the author and creator of JoJo's, he's in high fashion, and so like he does like model like poses and stuff like that to like highlight his fashion background, like that.
Yeah,
that's why his stuff. That's why JoJo stuff does stuff with Balenciaga and Vogue and Louis Vuitton and all these because that's their niche. That's what they do. It's like it's more about fashion than it's about boy love. So,
hey man, like I said, they appreciate the male physique. Shout out JoJo's.
It just feels weird. It just feels weird to take that. Obviously, he did that for a reaction and to be funny or whatever. But I mean, you could find a better. Like Yuri on Ice is that what he's describing?
It's literally called Yuri on Ice.
But even that, it's just like you just don't see that. You just don't see that. And if we're saying because what's his name just scored a goal and they're jumping on him because they're in U20 when Barrow scores his goals and they'll go crazy and they'll grab each other. Of course. Like, I don't know if Hassan's ever played a sport before, if you're gonna say that. Like, have you ever played a sport and do something amazing? Your teammates want to celebrate with you. That's where I'm at. Like, that's just so weird to take that kind of.
I hear what y'all are saying. I'm just saying that I don't think it's as literal as y'all are taking it.
Do you think it's because there's only like one female character?
No, I don't think that's it. I don't even. Oh, I completely forgot there was a female character until I just remembered. I think it was more jokey, and that's why I perceived it that way. So I don't have a like.
But the way it did come off is when he said "boy love," it did come off as he was speaking romantically, and that's
you're muted.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Santo, I agree with you, and that's the problem though. Like, I get y'all are saying that we don't have to push back or if it's not a big deal. Maybe y'all are getting offended. We're pushing back on the literal definition of what he's talking about. What he's talking about, the exact word that he used, is not what Blue Lock is about. I don't know why we can't debate that.
Like there's a difference between the anime Free, where the swimming anime, where they literally love, like they fawn over the main character, and Blue Lock, where you just have camaraderie and friendships. Like there's a difference. The way he came across, like when he was referring to boy love, he came across as he's speaking romantically.
I mean,
and
type
that's
the genre in Google. He literally said it's boy love without kissing. Like he said what he meant, and we pushing back on what he said.
All right. Hey, fair enough. Hey, that's what I hear. Devil's advocate. But with that said, let's dive into the next topic. That man, Hassan always has he was the same person that said Attack on Titan is like a mech anime.
And Luffy's a terrorist.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yobosa Orochimaru licked Sasuke. We're not calling Naruto boy love.
Hey man, if Hassan sees a clip we make, then we want an answer from him. What did you
No,
mean
that's
by
fine.
that? What did you
I'm
mean?
good.
All right, let's go into the next topic. It actually involves One Piece. So there's an actual conversation going on in regards to One Piece and what it could mean for the world of fiction, right? So I think as of right now, one Oda has surpassed a lot of famous writers in sales. He is now a top 10 highest selling author in history. He is above the person who created Harry Potter. He's above the person R.L. Stein. He's above Stephen King. And there's a legitimate conversation when it comes to Oda and One Piece that I saw someone make this take. And me and Miles actually talked about it. If it wasn't perceived as a manga, why can't this be one of the greatest pieces of fiction that has ever existed? Why can't it be the next Odyssey, for example, of literature?
Why?
Right? So that is the question I am posing for the people.
Is it not already that?
Yeah. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but
Do you think
like
people perceive it that way? That I'm
they
talking
don't.
about
You know
perception,
what?
not. Go
My
ahead.
bad. Go ahead, Riddell.
Oh, well, I was talking about perception. It's like we are dived into One Piece, but when people think about One Piece, they don't think of it as a Shakespeare, as an Odyssey type story, as a work of art. They think, oh, that's just some like kid's story or something like the person who knows nothing about manga and anime. The perception of Shakespeare, this perception of Odyssey, stuff like that is just held in higher regard. So I'm just like, can we ever reach the point where the masses understand that this is one of the greatest works of fiction ever? Santo, you want to say something?
Oh no, Ty was going first.
No, I will just say the only reason is not because it's not a novel, which is so strange to me. Why certain types of stories are viewed with, I guess, seen as more intellectual, seen as more fancy. I'm like, bro, it's a book, bro. It's a story. It doesn't matter if it comes with pictures. It don't matter if it comes in a audio book. If it's a good story, it's a good story. It doesn't, to me, that the medium it comes in to me is not. And honestly, it's more impressive to me to create a picture book because you have to be a good artist and you have to be a great writer. You're utilizing more skills to create this piece of work. So to me, I don't see any problem with most of our favorite mangas and anime being compared to these series or compared to some of these works. I'm like, why not?
I'm with Ty. I think it's impressive because
can you let Santo go because he said he wanted to go after Ty?
My bad.
It's just gonna be quick. I think I want to tackle the second part of your question. If it's ever going to be seen as that, I would say yes, because I think these novels or whatnot I think it's a generational thing. I think an older generation did hold these novels, these works of literature at a very high place. As manga continues to grow in mainstream, especially here in the West, I think those views that manga is just a kid thing, it's not as fancy. It's not a great work of art like these literature books from history. I think that is going to slowly change moving forward.
I'm sorry. Let me say super quick. My bad, random. Also, kids' stories are some of the best written stories of all time. The fact that people think that if it's a kid's story, it's somehow devalued, bro. The fact that a kid's story like Avatar or SpongeBob, people 7 years old and 30 years old love those series. That's good writing, bro. Like, I don't care if it's a kid's story. If you go to a kid's story like Disney, Pixar, you'll find some of the most well characterized characters in fiction in those series. Like, bro.
I think when you look at it, it's like Santo said, it's a generation. I think once we start, when we're in a position of power to really dictate what the zeitgeist and what people should watch and should see. Like, once again, I said this a few weeks ago. More people want to watch Luffy find this mythical One Piece thing than want to learn about Jesus. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like it's the fact that people are going around and it's crossed, it's universal, it's everywhere. Whether or not it's people in the NFL doing it or somebody in an orchestra like wearing a straw hat. It's even in video games. Like God, in the Kingdom Come Deliverance thing, there's a straight up Luffy reference in there where the dude runs in and finds a straw hat, and he's like, oh, and for some reason I think this hat's really important. Like it's clear, it's something that's clearly reached something to the point where I can only use my family. Look, I'm not gonna say and pretend like my family in Africa. Sure, we have ways to consume media, but when they're like, "Yo, have you seen One Piece?" and I know that bro don't got a way to like, bro, I know you pay for extra minutes just so you could get on the internet to read the next One Piece chapter, and then he gets mad at me like, "Y'all, like, how are you not reading One Piece?" Like that should tell you how powerful this media is, and it's going to get to a point where I think it's so successful that whoever's in charge saying that the Odyssey is something great, or Hamlet or Romeo and Juliet is this amazing thing. Like you can't turn your nose at it anymore. Millions, now probably billions of people are reading this thing. You have to at some point sit down, read it, and then if you're caught in the wave too, where you're sitting there watching Luffy trying to figure out what's going on, you're going to be part of it too, and you got to be able to talk about it. It's just too big now. It's reached too many different places for you to just turn your nose up at it like it's not important. That's just how I look at it.
Kent, we brought you back up. Did you want to say something?
No, not really. Not based off of everything that's been talked about so far. I'm just enjoying the show, man.
Hey man, appreciate you, my boy. Lonnie, you want to say something?
Just to add on, I do think it also, like what Santo was saying, it is a generational thing. But like throughout literature history, they've all been all these artists. They're all novels. So I do feel like once this older generation leaves and like manga becomes more prevalent, it will be taken more seriously. Because I feel like One Piece as like a media power has only really been taken seriously by the world like the past 3-4 years. Before that, it was just the best manga. Now I feel like it's getting the actual weight and motion that it actually deserves. And also, I feel that it gets a knock because it's not from English society, it's from Asia and stuff like that. So I feel like that's another knock that it unfortunately gets. And I feel like the fact that it's not complete compared to some of these other series, that's another knock. So I feel like once One Piece is finally done, I think that's going to be another big boom for it, because we all know how social media and how the society works. One Piece finishing is going to be one of the biggest moments of all our lives. And so it's going to bring in a whole nother wave of fans to be like, oh, One Piece is done. Let me finally read it all the way through. Let me finally see what it's about. And I feel like at that moment, when it's finally complete, that's probably going to rise it up into even more legitimacy. But until those things happen, it's still going to have those knocks, unfortunately. I don't agree with them, but it's just how society works.
Yeah. A lot of you guys made a lot of great points. One Piece ultimately will have the stigma, which is unfortunate. But something to always look at when it comes to these situations is once it's past the generation that provided the stigma and it ages in the history books, how will it be perceived purely based off its merit and its achievements will speak for itself. Because Oda's already number 7, I think he was on the list. One Piece is not finished yet. He's only going to rise on that list. One Piece is One Piece compared to comics like Superman, Batman, it's rising on that list. One Piece in terms of longevity and length is unquestionable. So in time, I think people are going to realize how great it is, but it also will the idea of manga and anime in general is changing. Like it's now popular. Like some people used to get bullied back in the day because they used to watch anime and manga, depending on where you're from. Now it's like you're a cool kid if you watch anime. You're one of them ones if you locked in. So eventually it'll reach to the point where it's like, now this is a piece of art that you were consuming. So shout out Oda. Miles, you got anything to say?
I kind of shared most of my opinion on Sunday when we did our One Piece review. I'm gonna kind of be doom and gloom, unfortunately. I think from a personal standpoint, it's like far surpassed those stories. But just because of the medium, I don't think it'll ever get the proper respect it deserves. I just don't see it. No, we're talking thousands of years, like we live, like the timeline we're living, 4,000, possibly. But I just don't know. It would depend on the trajectory of the medium as a whole, and I'm just not confident in it yet.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. So two more topics I want to address in Agenda Hour. This one, I think it's necessary for us to talk about it because it's probably the most popular anime out right now. So I'm gonna phrase it in a positive question. Why do we think solo leveling is doing so well right now?
Aura.
Pretty.
Aura.
Absolutely, Aura.
It's debunking the thing that you need a story for something to be good. I think solo leveling is doing a good job kind of keeping mystique and allure about the world, and they're really good at doing cliffhangers and everything. But whenever you see Sung Jin Woo on screen, he just looks badass, dude. The people he's fighting looks badass as well. It's just Aura versus Aura, and they're doing a really good job marketing it. That's all I can say.
I think Solo's also doing the Jeju Island build up in the anime has been very well done. I think this. I told Lonnie this when we talked about it. I think the last episode, don't get me wrong, it was very good, but it felt like they tried to squeeze too much into it. Where I wish they just kind of committed to. If you're gonna, the Baron fight. Don't get me wrong, the Baron fight's good. It could have been so much better, but they had to give us as much of the Jeju Island stuff because we hadn't seen it in a while. Other than you'd be watching the show, a random 2-second clip of the bug flying over the ocean, and then now we're back to the story. But if you're gonna commit, give me a full either Jeju Island raid update. Because think about everything that happened last episode. The bug reaches that Japanese spot, murks all those people. They introduce Ryuji. Then he gets the girl. He gets the demon girl. He meets the dad. They travel up the floors. He fights Baran. All that happened in that episode. It was just a little too much. But like you said, Sung Jin Woo always looks great. Even when he's on the back foot, he looks great. The visual spectacle is amazing. That uppercut, that might be one of the nastiest uppercuts I've ever seen in anime, and the zoom in on his face was diabolical.
Randall, when he sliced my arms off, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Like they know what they're doing, and obviously we should give A1 a lot of credit because they do this with Sword Art too. When Sword Art wants to lock in, Sword Art looks great.
Alicization was beautiful.
Alicization was magnificent, and you could really tell that they did that. Now, I wish this me. I'm always going to. And I said it in the beginning. I wish they just did a full Jeju Island episode. Then give me Baran and Sung Jin Woo for a full episode, and that would have been absolute heat instead of trying to put that in one episode.
I agree with a lot of stuff that you were saying. Also, we anime fans are spoiled because that episode was peak, and we still found a way to complain about it. Just saying. Not that it's a bad thing. It was cluttered, but I don't think Solo really needs. It's like Demon Slayer. The story's mid. The story's not gonna be super elaborate. Now, in Solo's defense, currently they're trying. They are trying. They're flushing it out with the sequel. They're like giving more lore. They're giving more depth into some other characters, into the shadows. Now the shadows have more personalities because of everything like that. They're being used differently by the sun. The monarchs are more prevalent. So they're trying to flush it out more. Do I think it's gonna like elevate it to new heights? No, but they are giving it more depth. But no, it's the aura, it's the animation, and it just goes to show that great animation with mid story does wonders.
I do think there is a level of art to it that I do think can be appreciated because sometimes I got to step out of myself often, like quite often, when I try to think on other people's perspectives. And I think it highlights when I think I was talking to someone or someone said in the comment section, I forgot where I saw this, and someone was like, "Yeah, my dad doesn't really like One Piece, but he really likes solo leveling." And I'm like, I understand it because solo leveling is easier to get into at the end of the day compared to One Piece. And sometimes with something That's a very simple story. Sung Jin Woo is powering up, got to beat the bad guys. That's the story. You ain't getting anything else beyond that. That is the story. And it looks great while it's telling its story. Sometimes that just works to appeal to the casual fan base more, especially when you consider like you're gonna make most of your bread from casuals, right? So there's a certain great thing from what Solo Leveling is providing, because I've said this before and I'm gonna stand 10 toes. It can be the Demon Slayer for manhwa. It can be the gateway to understand that there's a new medium that is very, very good, and it only gets better from Solo Leveling, which is another great thing to think about. Omniscient Reader, when it comes out, will have amazing animation with a far superior story. So that is like, oh, I've watched this, because I'm be honest, Tower of God didn't do a good job. God of High School didn't do a good job. And Noblesse did not do good jobs to set people up on how good manhwa is. So shout out Solo Leveling. It's doing its job. I'll give you that.
I also think when those previous manhwa adaptations was getting adapted, they didn't know how to approach it. I think they looked at God of High School Crunchyroll and said, well, if we get the fights, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And it was more than just that. I didn't watch Noblesse. Tower of God was, I think I didn't start reading Tower of God until after the first season, because I had to know I need that bitch Rachel to die in the most unholy of fire. But that's just me. But like you said, it's the Demon Slayer of manhwa. I think A1 truly understands what they have, and they're not trying to shift away from it. And the one thing that they didn't do in the first season, I wanted to ask you guys about. I was actually going to just text you guys about that. They stayed away from the regional aspect of Solo Leveling in season 1. You know, and now in season 2, like they're kind of tiptoeing through it, like especially because I went back and read a little bit. Like for instance, I think especially the novel really gets over the fact of how like bad Korea feels, or how disgraced they feel when that one dude switches sides from being the Korean hunter to going to America as the S rank guy. The novel really gets that ahead, but they don't do that a lot here, you know, and they barely kind of touch it. And I'm curious to see, especially now that Goto's in the story, how much they're going to lean into that. Like when he picks a fight with the Korean S rank hunter just to prove a point, and Sung Jin Woo got to slap him down. You know, I wonder how much they're going to lean into that, because that is given the tension between the two countries. Do you expect them to try to lean into that, especially since a Japanese company that's making the story? Are they really going to commit to making Japan look as let's be honest, they looked incompetent in the story in Solo Leveling. Are they going to be that committed to making themselves look that bad in the adaptation?
I think they could do it without causing issues. Like they just have to tweak it towards more about personalities clashing than it is more about nations clashing. I think if they make it more personal, make it more about like the people just not getting along, and then maybe you can throw in, like if they wanted to throw in some filler stuff to say like, oh, these two people had bad blood in the past. Like there's ways around it being political.
I mean, Kai, you're right. Yeah, the story doesn't pick up till after Jeju Island. That's when you start learning about the story properly.
So I'm just gonna go back to the original question. Why do I think it's good, bad fight? That pretty much a straightforward. You can pick up any episode at any point, and the casual fan doesn't have to care about the story at all. It's pretty to look at. It's a great battle at every point. Animation is great. Now, I will push back on this aspect. I think it's getting the fanfare that it is getting because this anime season right now, where it's currently at, is at a lull. A lot of the heavy hitters are on break, pretty much. The Chainsaw Mans, the MHAs, the One Piece anime, like everything's on break. The Demon Slayers. Would this be getting this level of praise and hype, even though it looks great, if those animes were still going? Because ReZero just started, and I see a little bit of the fall off with Solo.
Yeah, I think so. I'm sorry, Lonnie.
I mean, go ahead. You go first.
I say yes, specifically because it's competing with Daima. Daima's Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is going to always do good. If it can go toe to toe with Daima and what Daima's cooking up, especially with them pumping out all of this fan service to kind of not fabricate views, but they're generating views with this fan service. They're going band to band, even so they're dropping Super Saiyan 4 on our heads. There's no reason to make me believe it wouldn't do that against a One Piece or anything else that's on break right now. I think it'll do better than My Hero. Yeah, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't do just as good. The only thing I think would probably clear it is probably like a Demon Slayer.
Yeah,
wasn't Solo season 1 going up against heavy hitters and was still making it through?
Solo was doing numbers, but Solo season 2 is doing even better. Crashed Crunchyroll twice already, I think.
Yeah,
it's had super high ratings. It broke the record. Now it's like the third most watched. It's the third most watched anime on Crunchyroll ever, behind One Piece and JJK. So, and some of the fights have now gone beyond like anime media in terms of they're just viral now. And with its simplicity and great animation, now when it comes to super casuals, they say, "Oh yeah, I like Demon Slayer. Oh, I like Solo Leveling. Oh, I like," in terms of like the generic, like, "Oh, everyone's seen these." Solo Leveling's becoming one of those like name ones where it's just like, "Oh, a basic casual watches Solo Leveling. A basic casual watches Demon Slayer." It's just becoming one of the generic animes. So
it just needs one more thing. It needs one more thing, and it will complete its ascension.
A movie?
No. It needs a famous person to say it's the best anime of all time. That's what it needs. Just like what happened with Demon Slayer when Ninja said that stuff. The moment someone famous goes like, "Yeah, Solo Leveling is the best anime of all time," it's cemented. It's official.
So when you're looking at last year when Solo's coming out, One Piece was going on, Frieren was going on, Apothecary Diaries was going on, Shangri-La Frontier was going on.
Yo, I had to bring this
up. I think I've seen him comment this before too, or somebody has commented this before.
Oh man, that is
Polar
hilarious.
Nights, that was uncalled for, bro.
Hey, I got a haircut recently, as you guys can tell. They made my beard look pretty official, man.
Why everybody touch their face except Lana?
I can't grow a beard to save my life.
He got no growth. That's why.
The whole peppermint oil. I tried it all. Doesn't work, bro. Doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Why everybody touch their face except Lonnie?
I feel so conscious. On to what you want me to say. I'm getting a point where I'm like, oh no, I gotta do something.
Oh, also my girl hates peppermint, by the way. I found out the hard way because she's like, "Why you smell like that?" I was like, I'm trying to grow a beard.
No, it's a wrap. I'm trying to like my only problem is like connecting this part right here. Once I connect this part, it'll be golden. I'm gonna have a top.
So shout out Polar Nights, man. But I mean, to kind of go back to what we're talking about, season 1 went up against some heavy hitters and was still getting a lot of it was still going viral, was still doing a lot of things. If you're able to go up against with how monstrous Frieren was last year, how monstrous, obviously One Piece is always One Piece, to be able to go up against those type of anime and still carve out your own space to a point where we were talking about. Let's not even forget Mashal, and I understand people talk about the opening, but people are watching that show because of the opening alone. Apothecary Diaries, Undead Unluck, Shangri-La Frontier. It was a lot of heavy hitters. Now, maybe is there something to what Santer is saying, like it stands out even more now because based on the lull? Sure, but like Miles said, I think it was going to carve out its own space no matter who it was going up against. They've done a fantastic adaptation here.
Yeah, I keep on seeing big creators. Like every time a new Solo Leveling fight comes out, I see big creators compare it to the Igris fight. Still, they're still comparing these fights to the Igris fight in season 1.
Igris fight's the best fight, but when the Beru fight happens, Lonnie, when the Beru fight happens,
anime only staying ready for that.
Shout out, he is. Shout out him, bro, because he's the, considering how much character they're giving the Shadows, he's the one who had the most character. So once he gets introduced, that'll be a wrap. But all right, last part for Agenda Hour, then we'll do one more segment for the draft, as long as Ty shows back up. If Ty doesn't show back up, we're not doing the draft. And then we'll do some manga talk, and then we'll wrap it up. But let me get my announcer voice, because I got to say the synopsis. A world shattered.
Oh my
All
god!
right.
You already messed it up. You already messed it up. Choke.
Right.
A world shattered by a devastating cataclysm. A young earthbender discovers she's the new avatar after Korra. But in this dangerous era, that title marks her as humanity's destroyer, not its savior. Hunted by both human and spirit enemies, she and her long lost twin must uncover their mysterious origins and save the Seven Havens before civilization's last stronghold collapses. Avatar Seven Havens.
What did Korra do? Mind you, Aang, I talked about this. Aang was like, I fixed everything. Everything was fine. And then it's like, what was it? Okay, it's like Kobe, or no, it's like LeBron just won the championship. Miles just won the championship. It was tough. He came back down 3-1, won the championship, hand the ball off to Kyrie. He retired. And then Kyrie proceeds to lead the Cavs to the #1 pick in the lottery. And then he retires and gives it to Cooper Flag and says, Cooper Flag, fix it.
You got to also add the context that who came after LeBron, you said? Kyrie?
Kyrie, yeah.
You got to add the context that Kyrie is facing a team that's entirely composed of all Kevin Durant's. And that's the adversity she had to face. Listen, I get people hate Korra or whatever. Like, bro, the situation with Unalaq and all of that, and like actual primordial beings and shit like that, Aang didn't have to handle any of that stuff, bro.
No, look. Let me say this because I haven't seen Korra. I'm legitimately just asking a question. How does it fall this far? I haven't seen Korra.
She was dealing with primordial beings. She had to end the cycle of the Avatar.
I know that because I heard y'all talk about it. But it's just
she opened up the spirit world.
How it's just like how I can't wait to see them explain how it got this bad. Where
I actually agree with Sauce in the comments. I don't think she's responsible.
It has to be, right?
Hey, I'm ready to slander Korra. I don't like Korra.
I think it's like a misunderstanding, personally, because like she did open up the spirit world, so now everything's kind of like there were situations where the spirit world and the real world were just overlapped because society grew, society took up more space, society took up more of nature's space, and then spirit world came back, and it's like now it's all mixed up. But I don't think it's as bad, or I don't think it's either as bad as, like, I do think Korra might be framed, but she did kind of fuck a lot of things up. I'm not gonna lie, she did.
Before Ty does what he got to do, because
I haven't got much to say.
Now I want to hear what you got to say. I haven't, obviously I didn't watch Korra, so I don't really have much to say about it either.
You don't
However,
watch Korra either?
Oh, I did watch Korra.
I dropped it because I didn't like Korra. So, with that said,
I didn't like you. That's the
yeah, but like, for me, you already heard my explanation. If I don't like the main character, I'm not gonna watch the series. So that's just how I operate. With that said, do you think it's possible that the creators realize how much people actually hate Korra and just made her
double down on it?
Yeah, they doubled down on it to bring back those fans.
That's genius.
Hate Korra so much just to see Korra's downfall. I'm not gonna lie, if they did that, I would applaud them. That would have
It'd be kind of funny.
Hilarious.
It'd be kind of funny if, because she's going to be the person that this new avatar has to speak to. If she comes out saying, I mess a lot of things up, kind of similar to what Roku did with Aang, that would make people the vindication a lot of people would give her that. Loki, listen, I watched Korra multiple times. I am not a fan of that series.
I've also watched it at least 3 times.
I'm not a fan. I think the characters do not compare to Last Airbender, or just I don't think they're solid in general.
They don't.
And it's funny because the weird thing is that this actually someone that's trying to write a story. This taught me this is just a reminder of something you make sure characters have. So when people bring up the mistakes that Korra makes, people always push back with other characters' mistakes and saying, well, if you're okay with this character making a mistake, then you should then excuse Korra. The fact of the matter is, if your character does not have charisma, is not funny or a very powerful core wound, their mistakes people have less patience for their mistakes. That is just a fact. That is just what it is. For example, we love certain villains that are monsters. Bro, Sakuna, Frieza, you can say Aizen, they did things way worse than Core, but people love them because they're charismatic. People like Light Yagami is hilarious. We could go into the Avatar universe. Zuko sent an assassin after Team Avatar. He did some crazy things. But we see his backstory where he is begging on his knees to beg his father not to fight him, and his father burns his face and says, I'm gonna send you out to find someone that we ain't seen in 100 years. Don't come back until you find this missing nigga. That's crazy. So you empathize with him. And I personally think Korra's core wound isn't strong. It's her feeling trapped, but then she leaves within the first literally 7 minutes of her episode 1. Not only that, Katara encourages her to leave. Her parents are okay with it. The only person that gave her true pushback was one White Lotus member. So to me, I don't really empathize with that struggle because it wasn't really one for that specific thing. It doesn't really compare to Aang, who lost his entire culture. So people have more patience for characters that either make you feel sorry for them, who are funny, or charismatic. I don't think she has really like those 3 things. To me, she doesn't, and that's why I think people have less patience for her as a character.
I think the star of her character also hurts her a lot with the fan base because Aang set up everything so well for her, and she had like a perfect upbringing. She was doing training, and then what? Did I say something wrong, Miles?
Bro, because it doesn't matter how well you set something up if what I'm facing has nothing to do with what you set up, bro.
No, I'm saying is like I feel like
our parents do their best to make sure we go into life as adults the best we possibly can. Some people wind up homeless, some wind up dead. It depends on what you face.
Yeah, no, that's all I was leading to. I was like, she was. That's all I was leading to. She had like she had a fine upbringing. She was meant to succeed, and then like we see her go against these like situations is like it just doesn't hit the same. Like the weight of her decisions aren't there. The weight of like her responsibility, like it's just not that. Like to me, she was just meh.
Y'all hating too hard, and I'm supposed to. For all the people in the comments, I'm supposed to be the hater. Like I like Ty, I understand what you're saying. I get why people cannot. You're explaining why people don't like her, right? Like, or they don't give her any leeway for the mistakes she does make. Which I'm with you. I can see that, right? But at some point, you got to look at what she's dealing with, and you got to understand. Okay, maybe if Aang was dealing with primordial beings that literally started this, he dealt with a war between nations.
That's the end of season 1. I'm talking about the very beginning.
You said what?
I'm talking about the very beginning, Miles.
But there's a whole story, and people don't even make it to the other part of the story to understand the mistakes that she makes. So what do you mean? What crazy mistakes did she make in season 1?
I wasn't talking about her mistakes. I was just talking about like her introduction, like into how like we're supposed to like. She didn't like captivate me right away the way Aang did. Like I'm talking about like her beginning, like her introduction. It just didn't captivate us the same way that Aang captivated us.
The crux of this conversation is we're talking about people not liking Korra and what that spells for the new series. How could she have made all of these mistakes? Why is the world like this?
I'm not talking about the mistakes. I'm saying like the mistakes we all agree with what I'm saying, but also like the way that they introduced us to Korra, I felt was done poorly, or like it wasn't done.
Honestly,
I don't think they introduced Korra to us strongly. They didn't.
Yeah, I think it's pure. Another important thing that I learned recently. Well, a little while, but her inciting incident of episode 1 is essentially her leaving to go to Republic City. But a strong inciting incident is something that where a character. It's basically a door of no return. Like if you enter into an inciting incident, you should not be able to stop what you're doing and then go back. So, for example, if I take Naruto's inciting incident is him stealing the scroll from the third Hokage. There are now ninja out there trying to kill him, plus Mizuki. He can't just drop the scroll and return to his normal life. It's basically it's a break in the status quo. Her inciting incident is so weak, in my opinion, because it's her getting on the boat to head to Republic City. She can just objectively just put her stuff down and head back and return to her normal life. I just think that to me, it's not even her making mistakes is necessarily my problem. I love characters who make tons of mistakes. I love Endeavor. Like that to me, I just think that because her character writing is not that strong, people will, in my opinion, never fully connect to her and buy into her. I'll give you guys another example. And this is something that people tell for years. People still hate Sakura for saying Naruto is an orphan. People hate that. objectively, Naruto stealing the scroll from the Third Hokage is objectively worse. He stole a top secret scroll, a dangerous one. You will never hear anyone hold that against Naruto, because when he's pranking the village, because when he's wiping off the markings, and Aruka says, you better hurry, we'll be here all day, and the Naruto says, it's not like I have anyone to go home to. I'm like, dang, you forgive him. It's just it's one of those things where if you don't get people to emotionally get your character, they will have zero patience. You gotta make them feel sorry for them. They better be funny or something. It has, or have charisma. I think those three things, and I don't think Korra has those things.
That's sad.
Yeah, like just to go off that, like Yuji, when we first meet, like first situation, he has to eat the finger.
And there's like his whole life, he can't return to that normal life, and that's why I just honestly
bleeding out in front of the hollow. He has to take the sword from Rukia.
Yeah, those are powerful.
Grimoire. She didn't capture me right away. It was just like, eh. And if I was being nasty, I was gonna say, besides crash out and homie hopping, what advice can she really give the new avatar?
Yeah, that's just nasty. It's a shame that we have to connect with a character to use like common sense in that context. I don't disagree with what you're saying, Ty. I just think that's depressing to me. It made me sad.
Sure. I mean, I guess. It's just one of those things where it's like, I will say some of the mistakes that she made to me, then I question how much sense did they make. So, for example, one in season 2, so you remember she finds out that her dad's actually from the Northern Water tribe.
Sure.
I did not understand the anger she had towards her father for that. That didn't really make much sense to me, that she would put all that against her dad and then side with her uncle that she doesn't know. That to me was strange. Maybe I have to rewatch it I rewatched it as an adult because I wanted to actually see if I liked Korra. Because I watched it as a kid, I didn't like it. But it's just things like that. Like some of her mistakes, like, why were you so angry at your father? I mean, sure, that's like if my mom told me today, hey, Ty, you weren't born in Memphis. I actually grew up in Texas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would I have such rage toward my mom? I don't think I would. So even that, I don't know. Maybe someone could read. Maybe someone remembers the full context of that. She was just more so upset that she didn't know about that, and she, there was like that portal from the Northern Water tribe, the Southern Water tribe. I didn't understand her anger. I really didn't.
I am curious to see what they do with Korra in the new series, like in terms of how she does. Because at this point, the new Avatar, Korra is going to be so experienced that maybe the way she approaches different problems now. Because I think this is also going to be a way for, if they do it right, for people to finally get to like Korra in a way. Because I've seen reels now of people like, I've been hating on Korra for 10 years and I feel so justified.
Those memes, I ain't gonna lie, those memes are hilarious.
God. So now I'm to see how she would help this new Avatar approach it, and maybe like I don't know if there's ever any way for could they retcon a way for this new Avatar to eventually meet all the other ones? But I've seen the one thing I will say, Miles, is that people give her more smoke than like Roku. Like Roku didn't stop his friend and his boys, like his boy massacred a whole tribe, like a whole nation. Like when he had the chance. So I feel like there are other people that deserve the amount of smoke that Korra gets. They just don't give it to them. They just because they like hating on Korra.
Yeah, hating on Korra is fun. But I will watch this series because they made it seem like it's okay to hate on Korra. Shout out!
I'll just say this.
I don't even think Korra is that bad. I think she's mid. I don't think she's bad.
Honestly,
I'm fine with it's okay.
I will say this. I will say this to Korra fans, right? Because I agree with Blind. I don't think she's that. She's okay.
Like 2 Korra fans that exist. Shout out.
She's an okay character to me, but honestly, I think her getting hate is low key a positive for Legend of Korra, because if we focus on the other characters, it's gonna get nasty.
You don't like Bolin, bro?
He wasn't up. Hey,
listen, he's you know what? In season 1, I was rocking with him, but after season 1, to me, his character didn't feel. It felt kind of aimless until. I mean, I know he did the movie stuff. I know I like the stuff when he starts to help out Kuvira to retake the Earth Kingdom. That was solid, but
the lava bending.
It just, and a part of it is Korra has some very unfortunate circumstances because it was only booked for one season, and a lot of these characters, their character arcs had to restart season 2, and then you know what I'm saying. Like Korra had to pretty much restart a character arc in season 2 because she becomes a fully realized avatar at the end of season 1, and now you kind of have to. It's unfortunate scheduling. It's constant comparison to old series. I see a nigga like Zuko, I think Zuko, and I don't see Zuko. I see a dude that's funny like Sokka, and he ain't funny. He ain't funny as Sokka. You know what I'm saying? It's just.
Hey man, it is tough when it comes to a sequel and they just don't meet expectations, because that's what really hurts series like this. I mean, it was the same principle for like Boruto, right? Boruto was, I think, was not good, and for a lot of it until the time, like later on to Boruto, he's like, all right, he's growing a little bit, and then time skip. Boruto got aura, he got motion, time skip. I'm gonna be honest, he just does. But that initial expectations is why people hated Boruto so much, in addition to the anime not being good. So sequels not meeting the expectations of the originals can really hurt that series. But shout out Avatar. What's up, Random?
You think they'll focus on like a smaller cast then? Because technically everybody gonna hate this kid, and I mean everybody gonna hate this kid because she's the new Avatar. You say like
who's gonna hate the kid?
Because the setting, like the humans.
Setting. Oh, I'm talking about the people, the fans are the setting.
Yeah,
the
setting.
people.
The setting.
Yeah, but the fact that she has a twin,
and they say long lost, so she hasn't seen this person in a while.
You know what? I think that might be interesting if like to see which people, because they're gonna make a new team Avatar, right? Mm-hmm. But so I do agree that it might have to be smaller, maybe, because the other one you had like 6 people because you had Katara, Aang, Sokka, Zuko, Suki, Toph, 6. So maybe like 4.
Suki's a little bit of a stretch, I'll be honest. But
disrespect is so damn.
Okay, y'all are overreacting. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just saying when it comes to Suki, I don't think she's with Team Avatar enough to be considered a part of the team.
I don't know, man. They did that Team Avatar thing and they said fan and sword in the last book. So she's part of it, though.
But no, I know what you I hear what you mean. With that said, we're transitioning to the draft battle. Maybe talk a little manga. Wrap this show up because right now it's 2-1 in terms.
It should be 3-0, but I'm gonna let it sleep.
2-1. Lonnie and Random versus Ty and Miles. And the way we're gonna do this, in Santo's here, is I'll have a vote, Santo will have a vote, and the chat will have a vote to determine the winner of this draft battle. And this time it is Teen Titans Edition.
Robin. Okay.
Create the best characters. You guys already know how this works.
Aesthetics. You're a lot. I'm just saying.
All right. With that said, y'all think of names. Y'all kind of deliberate. Teen Titans. Chat will have a vote. Me and Santo will have a vote as per usual. So it's a little bit more dynamic this time. But you have 5 characters to choose from. Who wants to start? I think Lonnie's team went first last time, so I think it's Ty's.
You know what's so crazy about this? We went first twice in a row, and then we had to beg. Ayo, I think you should go first one more time. We went first twice in a row for the first to start off. So it's y'all turn now.
Man,
what? No, this is the same case he made for last time.
We the first
two same case he made for last. He's like, no, we went first last time. We went first last time, so you have to go first this time.
Lonnie, this is Lonnie. It's the 4th one.
No, you changed it.
So that means that somebody went first twice.
Go first, nigga.
All right, man. Y'all see what's happening.
All right. So that while they think about that, I might as well just include the manga topics here. So, one thing that question I want to raise, since we were talking about Boruto, actually, this is perfect. Lonnie, have you read the recent Boruto chapter?
What happened? I can tell you.
It's the stuff with they found out the value of love. in
No, I
boring.
didn't finish it. I think Miles.
Oh, yeah, that's that. Yeah, yeah. That's yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so wait, who's starting it? Ty's team, Ty and Miles.
Yeah.
Just let me know when you guys are ready to go.
Go with that.
Yeah, that was a great one.
All right.
For our cyborg, we're gonna do Android 17.
The peak right there.
Android 17. Santo, you can give a little commentary of all the picks if you want.
I was just gonna say, if they're going with the aesthetic, I mean, they hit it right on the head, bro.
Android 17. All right, so it's on Team Lonnie and Random.
Give me a second, Lonnie. I'm making sure I'm getting the aesthetic right.
All right. While they do that,
W stealing the strategy. W.
actually, instead of 2 in the board's a thing. So Dragon Ball Super, a question that has been raised quite a bit. There was a one shot that just dropped after I think a year of no chapters. And there's a legitimate question on some people hate the superhero gimmick. Some people like the superhero gimmick. What do y'all think? Santo, what do you think? Do you like the superhero gimmick in Dragon Ball?
The superhero gimmick.
Yeah, like Saiyaman.
I think it's cool. I mean, it was a change of pace, which I enjoyed. It was different. I liked it. I like comedic characters, so it fit me. So I enjoyed all the goofy poses. I enjoyed the change of voice, save the day type. I liked it.
Yo, Lonnie, peep this. I'm about to send you right now.
I'm not mad at the same because I like comedic characters too. Like I really like comedy anime. The Sandman, I did think was a bit cringe, but I like the Gohan showing this other side of him. Wasn't really moved at the poses. The poses didn't move me, and the fit didn't move me. That was my biggest issues. That fit and those poses just wasn't it for me. But I do think one thing I said about Dragon Ball Super, I do think it would be interesting if they really dove into a slice of life style for Super and diving into the story of Trunks and Goten. And now that they're kind of like Great Saiyaman 2, that could be like their story a little bit. They did a little bit of it, but it wasn't too long. I do think that could be something they can dive into. It's much more grounded. They're already strong. And kind of like Superman, you can find villains that can outsmart teenagers of all people.
Yeah. A slice of life would be cool. I mean, I personally like the poses because it reminded me a lot of the Ginyu Force, and I enjoyed that squad. But yeah, the fit was atrocious. I don't know which question. What's the worst fit? Zabuza's fit or Great Saiyaman?
Great Saiyaman's clearly worse than Zabuza's fit. Nah, I think little Zabuza, you can flame the pants a little bit, sure. The lower garments.
Ooh, that's Miles. That's
the mask combination and the tilted headband. He look like
you rocking with the arm socks.
Hey man, it's cold in that area, bro. You gotta keep yourself warm.
It's cold. Arm socks and a vest. Yes, that's like seeing a woman wear shorts and Uggs. Like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, sometimes they be cooking with them Uggs and shit. Hey man, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Zabuza can pull it off. Lonnie, Random, whenever you guys are ready, you can let us know.
Oh, go ahead, Random.
For Cyborg, we'll pick David Martinez from Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
How do you spell his name?
David.
Oh, David. I thought he said something completely different. I thought he said something different. All right. With that said, team time, Miles. Let me know when you guys are ready.
The ones we said earlier, are we cool with those? That we
Yeah.
confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay. For Beast Boy, we're gonna do Rimuru.
You rat bastard.
Mm.
Because that was gonna be my pick. You rat bastard.
Well, that's too damn bad.
Any commentary, Santo?
Not who I would have picked, but I mean, I'm good with it.
It's with a U, not an A at the end.
What do you think?
Rimuru, I get the idea. And I do think you can probably, if you argue it well enough, say his character is, you know what I'm saying? I'll just leave it at that. So there's something there. Okay, random Lonnie, just let me know. Moving forward,
I think I got one.
when you guys are ready, just like put up a sign or something, or just raise your hand so I know you're ready. But yeah, Saiyaman. Oh, I do think when Gohan had the do-rag on, that was his best fit. That was his best Saiyaman fit for sure. And the glasses
with the shades, yeah,
that was kind of moved me. Even though the colors on the fit was just still. I don't know about that.
I like Clean God. Y'all don't like Clean God? Washing away evil.
Oh, that one,
the new one.
Yeah. Oh.
When I found out it was Gohan, I felt so stupid, bro. I was like, "Who's this new superhero?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's just me. I just changed my identity." I was like, "Man,
No, I low-key didn't think it was Gohan for a second.
I was like, "I'm an idiot."
I was like, "Wait, who knows about Trunks? Like what?"
Yeah.
All right. For Robin, we're gonna go Deku.
Deku as Robin.
That's solid. Smart. Has hands. It works.
Deku as Robin. Shout out.
We're good already.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Raven, we're gonna pick Pride.
For Full Metal, the shadow powers, man. Darkness.
I didn't even think about the shadow power aspect, so that's why I was like, okay. Okay.
You good with that, Random?
Yes.
For Raven, we're gonna go with Lucy from Elfen Lied.
Okay. I'm seeing I see what you guys are trying to throw down on both sides in terms of what their abilities do. All right, Team Miles again. I said you would have thought that Trunks would have been able to tell that it was Gohan by reading his key. Yeah, fair.
For Robin, we got Sakamoto.
The adaptability and innovation of a Robin epitomized perfectly in Sakamoto.
Okay, Sakamoto is Robin. Also, I was thinking, like, I think I said this in the clip I made about the super chapter. If a slice of life were to happen, it's kind of interesting that more than likely the main character of that story would be Trunks and not Goten. Considering even though Goten is the son of Goku.
Yeah.
But I think the main character would be Trunks.
I think it would. I think that would make more sense, but for the casual fan, they would want that Goku tie-in to be the MC.
I think also you could argue, but on the flip side, is one thing that I thought about. Trunks is probably like the third most popular character in Dragon Ball. Arguably fourth if you think Gohan is more popular than Trunks. But future Trunks has a fan base. Strong fan base.
That's right.
So that's why I think that could also help with Trunks. And also, Trunks is more, I mean, yeah, he's older, but like he's the group leader. in their dynamic between him and Goten. He's the leader for sure. Another thing, unless you guys are ready, I think it's Team Lonnie. Just let me know when you're ready.
Hold up.
So when it comes to Boruto, I'll bring this up. Me and Miles were talking about it actually, and how they're kind of introducing the aspect of like love in the story, and how me and him are potentially not a fan of what they might
Check your
do
Telegram,
moving forward. Yeah, we cooked. Oh damn. So Boruto really might go down a story way where love is the answer for all characters moving forward, and I'm just not. I'm a little concerned that it might start getting a little cliche for the story. Miles,
hold on.
After thinking about it, do you think that the love plot line will be a problem from Boruto?
Do you think so?
Right number, you cut up?
No, he's talking to Lonnie.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
The one
it'll
last
be a. I don't think it'll be a problem, Riddell, because I think so far they are handling it very well. Everything at least makes sense and it's flowing seamlessly. I just think it's really lame. My problem is just with how lame it is, dude. Like you were pointing it out on Sunday, every single thing points back to love. There's a reason why love is involved in it, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm very concerned. But random, would you go?
For Beast Boy, we're gonna go Sun Eater from My Hero Academia.
2 My Hero characters. Okay. Oh, Sun Eater, not Heater. All right, Team Miles.
I don't know his actual name. I just remember his hero name.
Yeah, I forget his actual name too. We're
going to.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
My bad. We're going to Sailor Moon Yusogi, the main character. You can say Sailor Moon. Maybe people see it. Yeah, just Sailor Moon. She has the Star Seed abilities. Literally a star. For our Starfire.
Okay. And then Team Lonnie.
We're gonna go with Khalifa from Dragon Ball Super.
Khalifa?
Kefla?
Kefla or which one?
The fusion or the one spunky chick?
Khalifa or Kefla?
The fusion.
It's killing
Kefla.
Yeah, that's really 6 people, but we're gonna leave it. We're gonna let it sleep.
All right. With that said, to break it down, so these are their anime rosters in creating a Teens Titan squad. I'm gonna let both teams explain their reasoning. Then me and Santo are also going to do our deep dive and do our votes. And then chat, you will also have a vote in the chat, YouTube chat.
By the way, before you guys go, I made my own list before you guys called out yours, and I want to see what you guys think after.
Big bet. I did not make a list, but I'm curious to see yours. All right, who wants? I think Ty's team went first, so Lonnie's team, go ahead and explain.
Go ahead, Random.
All right. Obviously, start off with our Robin, Deku, a proven strategist, a man who's very adaptable, and obviously after he loses One for All, the man. We've seen how he works with, what do they call him? The hero devices. I can't remember the name that they give heroes to help them.
The gear.
The gear, but they have a specific name. But we see how he works with the gear. The man support items. We've seen the man can be incredibly inspirational. The man knows how to throw hands, and obviously, if we give him One for All, the man's a complete problem. From David Martinez, obviously we've seen how he fully commits to transform himself into a cyborg. I understand it's a tragic tale, and Adam Smasher didn't need to do him like that, but but it's crazy because both David and 17 have the way they technically go out is really it really sucks. And then for our Beast Boy is Sun Eater. Obviously, he actually turns into different animals, but while he may not transform all the way, we've seen how he uses different animal appendages, parts, or body parts to really get his work done. I'm gonna have you explain Starfire, Lonnie. I'll have you explain Starfire and Raven, Starfire and the Raven roles though.
Kefla, she's an alien. Her energy is green. She can fly. She has energy attacks.
She be throwing them hands too.
Lucy from Elfen Lied, one of the craziest females in anime history. Definitely some mental issues like Raven. Energy manipulation, telekinesis, things like that, like Raven. So, and definitely that gives that extra otherworldly aspect of like, because some people don't see like where her attacks are coming from, things like that. So in terms of just the mentality and the powers, that's why I went with Lucy for Raven.
Okay, Team Miles.
You want to explain, Ty, or you want to leave it to me?
How about I do Sailor Moon Pride and
You want to do Sakamoto?
Yeah, I got Sakamoto. So you can just you do your two, and I'll do the other three.
Sakamoto, that's a good pick. Sneaky ass pick.
You do your two, and I'll do the other three.
Okay, cool. So I'll start it off. So we picked Android 17 for Cyborg. He's a textbook definition of a full cyborg. He was once a human with a real name before he went with Dr. Gero, forfeited his humanity to become a cyborg. Everything that comes with being a cyborg, barriers. He doesn't need to breathe, no stamina, doesn't feel pain, doesn't get tired. You get the gist. He's a cyborg in every sense of the word, self-destruct features and all. And then Rimuru, in addition to a host of an amalgamation of powers, he can pretty much do it all. He is able to shapeshift into anything he actually consumes. So instead of being like a regular Beast Boy where he's limited to only animals, if he was to say consume a person, a thing, an object, whatever we need to fulfill a role, he'll be able to transform into that as well. He consumes souls, not just matter. And yeah, I'll leave the rest of the time.
They talked about Deku's adaptability. Lily Sakamoto is the king of adaptability in his verse. Like the story Lily said, that most of the top tiers can be Sakamoto unless he's in a room full of items. That type of innovation is Robin-esque. Like Robin can literally utilize multiple weapons that make him comparable to people with superpowers, which Sakamoto also does. Sailor Moon, Lily Yusogi, she literally is a star. I don't think it's any better than that. She literally has star powers abilities like Starfire. And I think Pride, outside of his shadow powers and his like demeanor, I think another cool parallel that him and Raven have is that when they talk, you hear multiple voices and echoes when they talk, because Pride has multiple souls, along with Raven have multiple personalities inside of her as well. If you watch Teen Titans, you know what I'm talking about. And they both have parallel worlds inside of them, just like so Pride also has those parallel worlds inside of him, just like Raven does. That's where Kimberly was able to coexist among thousands of souls, the way that Raven has multiple souls inside of her as well. I think he is, and also his demeanor is also closer to Raven's in my opinion. So
all right, I'm dropping the poll in the chat. Santo, you started out. What are your thoughts?
In terms of, so you want to go one by one, me and you?
Yeah, we could do that while the chat just figures out who they're voting for.
Okay, I would say for Robin, I think Sakamoto takes it. I do think his level of adaptability is very, very similar to Robin, as well as his fighting prowess. So I give it to Sakamoto.
One thing that I was really hoping you guys were going to do here is play into the fact that the Teen Titans and pick young people for the Teen Titans. You guys didn't really do that, so it's a little disappointing.
Deku's young.
I'm not done. But at the very least, you did pick Deku, who is a teenager, for this role. Now, so that gives a lot of bonus points for me because, I mean, this should be like a teen squad. That's kind of how I envision, and then everything else following. With that said, who fits the role better? I think it's clearly Sakamoto. I don't think Deku is like Robin at all, to be honest. I don't think his leadership style is like Deku. I don't think, though. Yes, he uses multiple abilities, but he uses abilities, whereas Robin is straight hands and uses objects. So I think Sakamoto fits that better. So, I mean, the teen stuff can only carry so much. So I agree. Sakamoto, it just fits the role better. But if you pick someone that fit the role as well as Sakamoto and it was a teen, I would have went you 100% for sure. Next one, I'll start out. Android 17, Cyborg, David Martinez. I honestly, other than them being cyborgs, none of them are like Cyborg in terms of personality. From at the very least, from the Teen Titans version, they don't got that charisma that boy Cyborg has, of course. So this is kind of a wash to me, but I will pick one. I think because of the cybernetics, a little bit more blatant for David. I'll pick him for this one.
I was thinking the same in terms of which one is more like Cyborg. I mean, both of them I think fit the aesthetic and the criteria, but I think Cyberpunk is more geared towards the story of Cyborg than Android 17, and that's why I kind of had it over.
All right, so 1-1 right now. Santo, what do you say?
Rimuru or Sun Eater for Beast Boy? Okay, so I also think this kind of a wash, but I'll give it to Rimuru. I think his ability to copy different organisms fits more with Beast Boy than Sun Eater.
Shout out Briggs, man. Show Snubbler is crazy. I actually agree. I'm picking. We're kind of locked in. I pick Rimuru too. I think his ability fits better because he can transform to actual organisms, but also his personality is closer to Beast Boy by far compared to Sun Eater. Sun Eater is passive. He is stoic. Rimuru is actually like a entertaining guy. He is outgoing. He is someone that it can be very foolish and funny sometimes. Yeah, that matches Beast Boy way more compared to Sun Eater. So I think this one is easily Rimuru for me.
Personality, so never mind. All right, never mind.
What?
No. Keep going.
Okay, I don't know what the argument there was, but
I mean, it wasn't your favorite for Deku, Lonnie. You weren't crying then.
No, the age went, not the personality, the age.
What?
So, dumb criteria either way. It wasn't your favorite. Don't cry now.
It's whatever.
I mean, I feel like we've included personality in every draft so far, but all right. As for Starfire, I'm going Sailor Moon here. I mean, honestly, it was a pretty good shout, Sailor Moon and Starfire. In terms of the aesthetic, of course, yes, the green energy beams. Yeah. I think that is a good one too.
The fact that she's an alien.
Alien 2 aspect is a big shout out as well.
Hey, Lana, you already got to plead your case, man.
But in terms of
business, Ty.
I think the Sailor Moon also fits it pretty well in terms of that her personality, in terms of Starfire's personality back in the Teen Titans show. I do think aligns pretty well as well. This one is very close, but I do favor Sailor Moon slightly.
I have Sailor Moon as well, and that's one of the characters that I picked on my list that actually matches. So I'm going Sailor Moon.
All right. So right now, me and Santo is aligned. It's 2-2 at right now. I believe. No, it's 3-1.
Yes,
Oh,
it's
actually,
3-1 now.
we're already a winner. But Santo, what's your choice for the last one?
Pride over Lucy.
Go on.
I mean, Ty did make a good point with vocal cues regarding that you can hear multiple voices when he does speak, but I think I like the darkness from Pride. It matches Raven. That's what took it over the top for me. Simple.
Yeah. For me, the shadow thing did help. If you probably picked the shadow character, that probably would have helped you a lot more, Lonnie. Did have a female kind of like emo-esque character, best way I could put it. Very stoic, very secluded to herself when she's in the Lucy form, not the Mew form, of course. Terrible backstory, of course, in terms of what she dealt with, and her powers are involved there. I do think Lucy, in terms of other aspects, is there. Pride only really has the ability, but he's also kind of, dark guy. But Raven from the Teen Titans version is not really a villain, so I probably would side Lucy here. But I mean, ultimately 3-2. Team Miles won for me.
Same.
And the chat also voted Team Miles to win, 70% to 30%. So the comeback is alive. The official record between Ty and Miles, and Lonnie and Random is now 2-2, and the finals is next week.
Oh,
That's what we all wanted.
Santo, what is your list that you said you would read out?
At first, for Robin, I did have Thorfinn, but I switched it and I went Boruto. I think he is a prodigy, being able to use different chakra natures, being able to throw hands, and he's actually pretty good at adapting to situations. I had him. For Cyborg, again, it might be recency bias. I had Kuma. For Beast Boy, I didn't really have like a solid pick, so I just went Inuyasha because he has a beast-like quality to it. Like Starfire, I did have Sailor Moon, and for Raven, I did have Sun Jinwoo, for being able to use shadow abilities.
Hey man, I didn't have a list, but I would have definitely appreciated if everybody used like teenage characters or young characters. And I'm be honest, like I do give bonus points when things are closer matched, like obviously age, personality, obviously abilities, obviously being the same gender helps too.
So wait, Riddell, to be fair, we have 3 teenage members.
We have 5.
Pride is a kid.
Pride.
Sailor Moon is a teenager. He's a kid. He just has thousands of souls living with him, but he's a kid. He's literally a kid. He grew up from a fetus. He's a kid.
Who's the third?
I'll give it to you. Sailor Moon.
Android 17, when he transitioned, is a teenager. He's still a teenager.
Oh yeah, they are teenagers.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. He took teenagers. Yeah, they're teenagers.
They're teenagers.
The one I'll give you is
the only adult we got here is Sakamoto, right?
The only one I'm giving you. The only one I'm giving you is Sailor Moon. I'll be honest. The only one.
What? Wait, hold on a second.
Wait,
how is
you won? It's
literally
no. But seriously, Riddell, if Pride started off as like an actual baby and we see him grow up, why can't he be counted?
Because it's a tough one because obviously homunculus are different. So, like for example, Lust. That's not a kid. Sloth, that's not a kid.
But none of them had the same. None of them came to be like him, though.
But Pride is the leader for a reason because he is. Isn't he the oldest homunculus too, or the first? No, he was the first homunculus. He said the first. Yeah, he said he's either the first or the oldest homunculus. One of those two. So I mean, I just don't perceive him as like a kid. I mean, he doesn't act like a kid. He just pretends to be a kid. But I get what you're saying. I don't think it follows. Sailor Moon's obviously a teenager. Rumor is not a kid. Android 17. I mean,
he's a kid.
Yeah, Pride is over 300 years old.
Okay, so we got two.
Sakamoto, Android 17. So you know what's funny about this? My job, I do research for my job, and one of the things I had to research is the age of Android 18. So I actually had to look it up, how old Android 18 is, and some people say she's like 30. Some people say she's around her 20s, and some people say that she's around 700 if you go like based off the literal day she was born. So yeah, I mean, from that research, I just can't. I don't see her as a teen, but I get what you're saying. I get what you mean. Without that, Team Miles won, and now we're finals next week. Shout out.
Feels good, man. Heroes winning again, man. Feels great. Feels great, man.
Now we already 3 hours in. We could just save the Blue Lock Isagi winning for next week. We could save the One Piece conversation for next week, or we can do it now.
Can we save Blue Lock for next week? I haven't read the chapter yet.
I haven't either. I just know he wins. So, and it doesn't make me happy. I'm a hater.
I mean, Jesus, he swept the whole thing. I thought he would at least lose one, but for him sweeping the whole thing is interesting.
Yeah, I'll put the agenda here right now. I am rooting for Asagi's downfall moving forward. So
that's crazy.
Yep, it is what it is. Moving forward, I'll be rooting for Asagi's downfall.
Rooting for Asagi's downfall and rooting for Nagi's upgrade is crazy.
What's next?
It is what it is.
Bro, might as well not. He might as well just have Nagi injure Asagi. That's what's gonna happen.
What?
That's
No, he doesn't need to do all that.
Are we gonna see a Riddell crash out? Because up next is the whole Nasagi match. The Nagi match. So if Nagi crashes and burns, is Riddell gonna just crash out and just give him
He is
cooked. Because Nagi needs that defining moment to finally lock the hell in. So
why would Isagi's team lose to Nagi when the perfect team for them to lose to is Rin's team?
Maybe Nagi finally like evolves even further, and then now he's like the number 2, whatever. He's a new problem. So
he needs a catalyst. He needs something to initiate
you gotta do something.
You know what? You know what would be an amazing story? Asagi's on the super high. He just beat Team Rin of all people, who had Shido and Charles. Nagi's on this roll. He is falling in the rankings. People are giving up on him. If people were betting, I think Asagi would probably be a plus 800 right now.
That's that Riddell head
finally clicked, and Nagi of all people beats Asagi. That would be so beautiful.
At this point, if there's one person that I could see stand up to him and it makes more sense, it would be Bachira.
No, it makes more sense. That's just hate.
That's not
what.
That is. It's not. It's literally the person that made him tap into his ego. The person that believed that he was him before everybody. It was Bachira.
I think Bachira is going to be like one of the finalists. Like when it all comes down to it, I think he might be like in the final 4, because I think it's going to be Rin, Asagi, Bachira, and Baro. But
okay, keep disrespecting my boy. Keep on doing it.
No, I don't know about Nagi might be 5th, but like I don't know like if he cracks that top 4.
Love this. I love when you doubt my boy. Come on.
Who would he pass in that top 4, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, does he pass someone? Who does he? If you're like naming the top, like the final 4, if you have to pick like 4 final like people for Blue Log,
Nagi's number 1. Fuck. We here.
He's like the final.
We here.
The final person.
Hey, if
between Asagi and Nagi.
Hey, if the creator of Blue Lock decides. Oh, are you talking about the end of Blue Lock or the end of?
Yes, I'm
whatever
saying the end of Blue Lock, like when it comes to, like the final four, is Nagi part of the final four?
No, he ain't.
No, he's not.
No,
I would like
he
him to
ain't.
be, but I don't think he is. I think he's there with like Shido or whatever. Like he just doesn't make the final cut. Not that he's like not that
Keep
he's not him.
disrespecting my boy Nagi. Compare him to
Shido's like
Shido.
athletically
Shido. No. Keep disrespecting my boy Nagi. Keep
Now
it.
we disrespecting Shido. Like he don't.
Yes, I'm
like,
disrespecting
he don't-
Shido.
like,
What
he
does
got more buckets
do?
than Nagi right now. He got more buckets than Nagi right now.
My boy Shido get buckets.
Like,
Keep disrespecting my boy Nagi. Keep on doing it. Keep on. All right.
Real quick. I know I mentioned it a little bit. So we just, I'm so mad about the plot that Sasuke got to beat Deidara.
You're coming back to this?
Yes.
Okay.
Deidara is
I don't even believe he beat the first
character.
attack. That
He's the
shit
most
was a
Hode
molecular.
character.
It attacked people on a molecular level, and I'm just supposed to believe Sasuke had something to beat that.
Yeah, so I thought that was a great example of a fight that used tactics. So the way he was able to counter the molecular bombs injecting his body is he streamed lightning through his body.
Yeah.
Deidara's chakra style is earth. Lightning beats earth. So he
Yeah.
was able to disarm them. That's brilliant use of the power system. That's brilliant.
No, that's a fact.
Okay, so then he comes up. He
The
genjutsus
snake shit is
Deidara.
bullshit.
He genjutsus
It is
Deidara.
straight
Deidara said,
trash.
"You triggered my trap card," and then he gets out of that, and I'm like, "All right, bro.
The
This
snake
is why
shit was
Sasuke
bullshit.
can't beat the allegations right here."
Damn, man.
That second one was whatever. Like I was. That's why I was like R.I.P. And I'm low key mad how they did him. If Deidara had to lose, find a better way than plot armor.
Random, you're about to see Sasuke make it through some a lot more bullshit than the Deidara fight. You're about to get mad at Sasuke. If you're getting mad at Deidara, you're about to really hate Sasuke.
I really like Deidara, man.
Well, he doesn't really get through a lot of BS. I think moving
Bro,
forward, a lot
Cade
of it,
Summit, the Cade Summit, bro. He should have died.
yeah, but like,
he had literally he had no business making it out.
He should have died at least twice. At least twice there. He should have died. Third, if you count Donzo. Third, if he doesn't get
he beat Donzo's ass.
No,
He beat Donzo's
he
ass.
beat him, but how he got out of the ending conclusion was plot armor. How he got out of
Wasn't it? Oh, I mean, man, random.
it was plot armor. It was plot armor. He got out by plot
Nah.
armor.
I don't think so.
Obito appeared. He's like, "Yo, Sasuke, dodge!"
Yeah.
And then saved like it's plot armor, bro.
Shout out, man. He needed him. Oh, I'll ask this. Because there's a One Piece chapter next week. What do we think? For me, Lonnie, and Miles, of course. What do we think are going to be the new abilities for the new God Knights? What is our predictions?
Go ahead, Miles.
Go ahead, Miles.
Because I don't fucking know. They just showed up. We saw them in like 2 pages. How am I supposed to look
killing him, whatever his name is. The mythical zone. It's based off of a Japanese deity already, or Chinese deity, called the Kirin. So whatever abilities that deity has, I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
What that deity does, only
I
God
think it
knows.
definitely is going to be like electrical based.
Yeah. So I think his is easy. And then Summers, he has a lot of things going with the whole flower theme. He got the rose petal, he got the thorn branch on his sword. His name is Summer, which is, plants and stuff are in bloom already. I think it's going to be something plant-based. We already have a plant-based Logia, so it's not going to be a Logia, but I think it's going to definitely have something to do with plants. He's the son of the Minister of Agriculture that someone pointed out to us. It's going to have to be plant-based, I'm thinking.
Maybe he turned his sword into just like Shamrock.
That could be a possibility too.
Yeah, so that'd be very interesting. But any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Ichi the Witch is cooking. Ichi the Witch is cooking.
It is. I also made a Descarasa video saying how she's the next Gojo. She is.
She is, and she got the aura too. She got the aura.
She got the aura. She got the character. Everybody's gonna simp over her the moment she's on screen. Men and women. Yeah, she's her.
She's her.
If y'all haven't watched, if y'all haven't read Children X, now's the time. I was telling Riddell earlier in a kind of trolling fashion. I've never seen a protagonist in any story, I don't think, pull up with all his homies and say, you know what, villain? Let me hear what you have to say. The villain tells him, and he's like, yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and do what the villain says right now. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
That's why I'm so invested, because I've never seen that either. He really, and I get it though. Like, that's why Tokyo's freaking skyrocketing on my list, bro. He's thinking things through. He's asking questions.
I will be caught up before next
Tokyo's
week
him right now, bro.
But
He was like, what y'all doing don't make sense. She sounds like she's making a lot of sense. So yeah.
Oh man, I'm here for it. Hey.
Oh, and shout out Luca getting a triple double on the Mavs.
Oh wow, he violated.
Now, Luca, I was watching this game on the side. Usually I won't put something on, but it's Lakers Mavs. I had to. There's some possessions like Luca doesn't seem like he's all the way locked in, but I mean he still performed well. But this he could have. I expected a more dominant game, but they won, so not too upset.
So I will say this. Shout out to the Open Dojo crew. We had peak like 42 members. 42 viewers. You guys are really rocking with us. We appreciate y'all. No episode this week, but next week we got things coming. So you guys show up, show out, and yeah, just continue supporting us here at Open Dojo.
I'm gonna attempt to show up. Because I heard too much shit slides over there. I gotta see what's going on.
Yeah, Santo was cooking your ass.
Yeah, you was getting stir fried in the kitchen. Wrist it like it's stir
About
fried.
what? This is the first time I'm hearing about
You
it.
was getting stir fried.
What was I getting cooked on?
In the kitchen wrist because you're an anime.
Go watch the episode.
In the kitchen wrist it like it's stir fried. Anime elitist, you got cooked by my boy.
All right, I'm gonna watch it. But I got come in there with smoke. So all right,
that's fine.
Hey man, shout out Team Hero, of course. Team Hero on top. Maybe we should figure out like at the end of the year, like the winning side, some type of either punishment or prize. That could be an interesting thing for the Discord in particular. Something
You
to
gotta
think
start
about.
counting these Discord L's because some of these L's be egregious.
Discord L's.
Discord L's question mark.
So do the L's count when y'all cheat? Those count?
Hey, you gave up though. You gave up. You found you caught the cheater, and then you let him get away.
Bro, if you're gonna lie about a Discord debate, I have no choice but to concede, bro. It is not that serious to me to be lying.
Yeah, unless it's recorded, it won't be counted. We need receipts of it. You know what I'm saying?
I got receipts of.
No, I'm talking about like
double glazing.
receipts of a actual competition happening, and then records of a winner or loser of the competition.
I'm not going front. I'm on Team Villain, but Miles, I saw that edited message. I'm like, mid question. I was like, bruh.
That's a disgrace, bro.
Hey man. What else?
At least don't get caught.
Team Hero do not be on timing.
All right. Shout out Briggs, man. Asked him to come on the show. He came on, talked it up. Next week, okay. So next week, do we want to do a top 10 or do we want to do the suggested topic I requested or I brought to the table in terms of we have different categories and we pick our favorite anime for each category? What do we prefer?
I'm fine with that one.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be interesting. Should we just go off the categories for my anime list? Like what my anime list has for genre? That way we can figure out which one would fit under certain categories without having debates over semantics.
Yeah.
Okay. That one should be interesting because like it'll be very interesting to see like all our different favorites because you know a lot of people claim a lot of different series, a lot of people like different series, and we never really dove into some of the other more niche ones. Like someone's favorite horror anime or someone's favorite sports anime. You know what I'm saying? That we can really get in our bags for that one. So that one should be good. But any final words? Anything else?
I don't understand Chainsaw Man. And is you're about to do something crazy.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I stopped reading. I was getting tired of that shit.
I have no idea what's happening anymore.
I'm not
No
fucking
idea
Chainsaw Man right now at all.
I'm taking a mental health break from it. I'm just giving it time. I'll let it build up, then I'll binge it. These niggas tripping. I
need Freeran to come back immediately, and I think I'm probably just gonna have to call Ty. We need to talk about that last Berserk chapter and what's going on because it was very interesting, especially near the end of that chapter. What that dude wants with guts.
Big
W. I'm on Fishman Island, and I swear to God, I hate Sanji. I hate him. He's annoying. I'm tired of this nosebleed BS, bro.
Hey man, shout out Sanji. Hey Miles, Game of Thrones tomorrow. If you're available, I don't work tomorrow, of course. And Joffrey, season 2, episode 4 is the latest thing I watched. He's in the argument of one of the most evil fictional characters I've ever seen, bro. Dude is a villain, straight up.
He's up there. He's up there as top TV villains of all time. Like people hate him,
and he only gets worse. Riddell, he only gets worse.
That's what
like
told me.
After this show, he was struggling to find work because he was typecasted at that point. He was that character,
which is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah,
I think that gave him more work because of how he was able to get people to emote about him.
The actor recently just came back, I think, like this year to acting because he just couldn't find work, and I think he went to real estate for a little bit. He went back to school. He did one of those things. He quit for the last few years.
You're such a good actor. You gotta go into real estate. Like what?
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you. Wouldn't that hurt him in real estate? He's like, hey man, I'm trying to get this house, but Joffrey's selling it to me. I don't know if I want this house anymore. Like
it was something like, but he just came back this year. Like he wants to get back in fact.
That's so weird to me, especially considering like one, it's weird because when you're young, they can screw you over in like contracts like a lot, or your parents will screw you over. So I don't think he made as much money as he should have gotten. So the fact that he was so freaking good that he's getting typecasted out is ridiculous. It's fucked up because like the villain for top of my head, freaking Josh Brolin for Thanos.
Yep.
He's gonna continuously get roles.
That's a different role. I understand, but that's a different role than.
Okay, what about Heath Ledger as Joker?
I still think that's a different role.
He died.
He also
before he died, I think he still would have gotten roles.
No, my problem. Obviously, we understand that the Joker is a sadistically evil character, but when you're looking at, you also know, like this, as weird as this sounds, like it's such a fictional portrayal. Like we've met people like Joffrey before. We've seen real life people like that who are that. Like whether it's spoiled or conceited, we've met people like that. Like that's why he felt so real. Like the joke. Realistically, when are you ever gonna run into somebody like the Joker in real life? But you can run into somebody like Joffrey. Now, is he gonna have the power to get you killed? Nah, I whoop Joffrey's ass. That's what's gonna happen. If Peter Dinklage, if Peter Dinklage was able to walk up and talk him down in front of his guards. In front of the king's people and do all that to him, I'm whooping his ass. But that's the problem. He was so viscerally real. I think that's why, which really sucks. Like you think if I'm a studio and I see somebody able to garner that kind of attention from somebody, that would make me want to hire him. Like I'm not gonna hire let's use Randy Orton in 09. I'm not gonna say no, I don't want Randy Orton because he was such a nasty villain in 09. I want him still because he was able to evoke that kind of emotion out of people.
Yeah. I guess there is it's a hard to think of an example of someone so pure evil that lasts so long in a TV series. Usually those characters are redeemed or those characters are killed off quicker. So I guess that is not a common thing because I can't think of a series off the top of my head. It's like, who was this evil for that long in a series? And I can't think of one actually off the top of my head anyway.
That's a great question.
So yeah, it could be an exceptional case.
And I guess movies are different. You think? Because
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Al Pacino and Scarface. Wasn't that Santo or somebody the role that really made him a big time actor?
That's only 2 hours. TV shows span for a long time. So that would be the difference.
I
What do
mean,
you got there,
you repeat the question one more time.
I'm trying to think of like a live action villain who was in a series that was pure evil for such a long period of time that exists.
It's the pure evil because I can say Underwood from House of Cards, but I don't think he's evil. But he's
low-key evil as fuck.
He's evil as hell, Santo.
I mean,
bro pushed that reporter in front of the train with reckless. He did not care.
But okay, another added factor is because there are some pure evil villains that have charisma, like a Ahsoka. Joffrey, I don't think has charisma. I think he's just evil. So
but
that
he's but the thing is that he's like a used car salesman. He's like slimy. He's like gross. Like you look at his character, like when he speaks, it's like gross. That's the feeling that I get when I listen to Joffrey. Underwood, I would, he does a lot of evil stuff, but it's geared towards more like ambitious. So that's the only pushback I would say with that character.
Bro, when you know how Underwood literally framed his protector, got him fired, brought him back, for some reason hooked up with him.
What?
Oh
it's crazy.
For some reason, hooked up with him and his wife. Though, like I remember Miles, let me turn my camera back on. After that episode, I just sat there. I was like, "Why? This is the most random threesome I've ever seen."
It was so random. I watched that with my mom, and we just looked at each other. We were just like
I couldn't even look at him. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I believe it.
No, but we were just like, what the hell?
Like, what just happened? And it just flowed perfectly. And then the next day, that dude said, "I don't care whatever happens to you, Frank. I'm got your back."
And what did he do for him?
Yeah, and he proceeds to climb the ladder, and it just made sense. That's how, bruh. You gotta watch that show. Like, when you really think about it, it don't make Miles. I can't think of a single point in my head other than to get the dude to fully commit to being like, "You're one of my people until I die." They had no business, rhyme or reason to hook up with him. No rhyme or reason at all.
That sounds kind of funny, I'm gonna be honest. All right. With that said, gents, unless I'm gonna keep on asking because sometimes things pop up. Anybody have anything else?
I'm tired. I'm good.
Okay. All right. With that said, appreciate everybody who tuned in for today's podcast episode. A little bit longer, usually we're 3 hours, half an hour longer. We had some really good support. I believe Briggs probably had a raid at some point with his Twitch stream to our podcast. So appreciate everybody who tuned in from there. Really good podcast episode, of course, when it came to having Briggs on to talk about top 10 power systems. Then obviously we had all the other great topics that we discussed as well afterwards. So next week should be fun too. And I might bring in more guests for some of these topics for them to make a special appearance. And next one, what do you think about this idea for the one after? Top 10 best anime to show to a casual.
Yeah,
I got a few.
I got a lot
think
of those.
Yeah.
that one's really gonna spice things up for us to get the casuals locked in, man. With that said, appreciate everybody. Like, subscribe, rate the podcast 5 stars. Go to our link tree to follow our all our socials and join our link tree. Join our Discord. I mean, with that said, hope you guys enjoyed. You have a good one. Take care and peace. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Black Sensei Society podcast. With that said, make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and turn our notification bell on so you never miss any content we like to drop. We want to do as much as possible. And if you want to join the community, you can also go to our Discord, go to our link tree, and be a part of it. We have a lot of great conversations in there. And we're doing a lot of fun things in there. Events, getting your opinions for content and videos, tournaments where we have cash prizes. So make sure you guys join the Discord and rate it 5 stars for the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We really do appreciate you as we continue on our grind. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed. You have a good one. Peace.